And we are doing the garage sale preview part 2.
Part 1 million.
Part 1 million. As you know, Knifewear garage sale happens a couple times a year. We, Naoto and I, usually go to Japan, buy a bunch of crazy stuff, and then bring it on back, and it's going to be one-of-a-kind stuff. It's going to be new blacksmiths we don't know. It's maybe something special. Maybe it's an experiment. Anyway, it's non-standard products that it's product we don't normally carry. So we are going to be showing you some of those knives. Right now is the best time to ask us anything. If you want to see a knife, if you want to see what Mike's face looks like, if you want to know what I'm drinking, because it's not actually coffee.
If you want to hear a really great dad joke, if there's such a
And some
thing.
dad jokes, we've got them.
That
We've
beer
even got-
actually
we've
is
even
the
got a
same
guitar.
color as coffee.
I'm drinking this thing here. This is a thank you, Dandy. Thank you, Dandy Brewery in Calgary, for making really delicious stout. So there you go. We're drinking that.
AJ says, got it nice today. That was so fast.
Oh, so AJ ordered some knives on Monday, and he's got them already in the post. But today's Thursday. That's great.
That's what we do, man.
That's super great news. We do try to ship as fast as we can. We sometimes get slowed down in the first few days of garage sale because we get so many orders, and we try to make sure that each knife is perfect when it goes out, packaged perfect so it's not damaged, and we just want and to make sure it's the right ones. Oh, we hate sending the wrong knives to people.
Things happen.
We do it sometimes,
Things
right?
happen.
Like everything, there's always mistakes. We try to take our time at this time of year to make sure it's perfect. Mike,
Hi.
welcome.
Thanks.
Welcome, Mike.
Thank you.
Michael Frawley
Welcome
in Australia, or not Australia,
Oh, hey, buddy.
in New Zealand,
Hey, New
saying,
Zealand.
staying away from you as I end up buying too many great knives. Doesn't seem like he's doing a good job.
You're terrible at not buying knives. I know that about you.
You're terrible at staying away from us. But you're not terrible at driving Ferraris. I know. So I keep looking at your Instagram, and I think, man, that man has a lot more Ferraris than I do.
Well, N+1, right?
Yeah, I have 0 Ferraris, for example, and he has 1,
Okay.
which is a lot more.
Yeah. I have a lot of Ferraris. They're like real small, though. Real small.
Oh, James Wang said he got his Doi Usuba today.
No
Oh!
way.
Oh, James, we need
that's
to know.
amazing.
We need to know how that Usuba's doing, because Doi-san, he can't get those knives anymore. You know, he's passed, and he retired years ago, and we managed to get 2 knives from him. So that's really exciting, James Wang, that you got that. We really need a review, because that's wicked.
Yeah, treasure that. That's amazing.
Mike, how long did it take to make this knife?
Oh, how long did it take to make that knife? I don't know, between 40 and 50,000 years, probably, to make the scales on the side of it from the mammoth.
Yeah, what are we looking at, Mike?
That's a Takeda folder, the Takeda Higo. So a Higo knife is this, like, we have lots of types of Higos, and they're usually this, like, real standard version that's just like an iron blade or a steel blade and this, like, brass or iron scales. These are made by our friend Takeda. If you don't know Takeda, renowned for being one of the best Japanese knife makers, making the sharpest stuff you've ever found, right? But he makes these real sexy things, a little bit, little extra touches, like, you know, mammoth scales.
Yeah,
He has some that are, I don't know, are these even?
these pink ones. I'm choosing today between these pink ones. I'm choosing which one I want.
So it's stabilized box elder.
Chat for what you should, which one you should buy.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Here,
let's number them.
maybe you should choose this one.
Throw some numbers on. Oh man, that one though. So got a few more friendly comments. Mike H got his package from Monday's purchase as well.
That's the one you have.
Brian Crook is sad because his stuff won't show up until Monday.
Oh, Brian, I'm sorry.
But he also says, and I just want to say thank you, Brian. He says our staff is the absolute best. Everyone's been so great and always are. Keep up the good work. And
Thank you.
yeah, those
Appreciate
kinds
that.
of comments.
I'll
Brian,
pass
I
that
really
on.
appreciate that, man.
I'll pass that on
Thanks,
to everybody.
Oh, hey, just a quick bit of housekeeping about Knifewear stores. If you can get to any of the Knifewear stores right now, you will notice that we've done something to the outside of the buildings and the inside.
We've made them amazing. Christmas amazing.
Do people still know that show, Mike? Griswold's, or what's it called? National Lampoon's Vacation or Christmas?
No, they don't.
People don't know that show?
No, you have to be at least like 35 or older.
I'm
I
50.
think. Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, if you know National Lampoon's Vacation, or not Vacation.
I'm less than
Christmas.
35, but I'm just very well versed in
You're just
that
old.
old culture.
You're just old.
I'm an old soul.
You're old for a young guy.
Yeah, 27 this year.
Are you 27 already?
27, yeah.
God, I remember when I met you. You were 7 then.
I was 7. Yeah, I was 7.
You drink a lot of beer for 7-year-olds.
Yeah, and great at line cooking at 7. Really good line cook at 7. Yeah. You know, we still have a couple things left here that I think.
Actually, no. Here's
Oh, okay,
the
yeah.
pressing.
So you got those. You got those.
Here's pressing details. I need to choose one of these 3 pink folding knives from Takeda-san today. So here we go. Let's have the votes. This is number 1.
I like the shape of that blade.
So that's number 1. The shape of the blade's different and the handles are different on all of them. This is number 2.
See, scale little blade. Scales look
little
nice
blade.
though. Scales are a
Scales
little
look
bit
beautiful.
Oh, they're a little bit nicer. I think the scales are winning.
That's
there.
number 2. Here's number 3. This is the Nathan Garrow choice.
Oh, they're like. Look at the other side. Wait till you see the other side. Though.
Skinny little blade.
Skinny
Don't
little
know
blade.
if I like the
Look
blade
at
so much.
look at those scales though, man. They're like zebra stripes.
If a zebra was pink.
If the zebra was
And this
pink.
one's considerably larger than the other ones. And this is number 4. So if there's a preference, look how different. Look how different the 2 sides are.
Yeah.
So this is- yeah,
no,
so it's-
that's the winner right
this
there.
one's number
Look at the
4.
blade. Yeah, number 4 is the winner.
It's the biggest one.
Obviously.
So we've got.
What could go wrong? What could go wrong?
There's nothing can go wrong. I'm holding the computer, the desktop computer, at a terrible angle. So we've got number 1, 2, 3, and 4. So
So
give us the
Sultan says
comment.
number 4.
give us some comments about which one I should buy, because I'm going home with one of these tonight.
So okay, we got 3 votes for number 4. Trevor S. Sultan and Robert Marsh.
And Mike.
And Mike. That's 4 votes. 5 votes for number 4.
Yeah, you're good at
While
counting.
we're waiting for the votes are coming in, a couple questions. AJ says, are there any meaning behind the stickers we put in the packages? He got the ramen sticker and the mask, the Oni mask.
Oh, well, we knew it was for him, and we knew he would like those best.
You're full of it.
I'm
He's full of it.
shit.
No, we have
just-
some really cool people that make some really cool stickers for us, like our guy Mason, who's our designer, and he made both of those. He made them by hand on a computer. Yeah, these are his original designs, and we just love chucking some stickers in people's boxes.
Oh, look at that! I got a new sticker. I've always got stickers in my pocket, but this is from our guys. What is it? What's
Dustin.
Dustin? So there you go. Got his sticker. Oh,
I
looks
like the
I got
ramen sticker a lot. That's my favorite. I found something that maybe we should get next Christmas. Is you can get these Canadian-made custom onesies. But I was thinking if you had a onesie that just had little ramen bowls all over it, it'd be super sweet.
So we got a lot of votes for number 4. That is the clear winner right now. Dr. G says,
But look at number 1. Look at that side and that side.
Dr. G says, love the
Look at
little
number
man
1.
trapped in the scale. Is there a little man in number 4? I
In
can't
number 4, there's a little
Dr.
man
G?
trapped in the scales. There's a little man trapped.
Maybe you have to hold it sideways.
Oh, maybe that's the guy there. It's Jordan Fritz. Mike, right there. It's Jordan Fritz. It's his
Sorry.
face and his big hair.
I haven't been microdosing
Right
yet
there.
today.
It's Jordan Fritz.
That's really what these knives are for.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. We always plan poorly at garage sale, and we have a lot of things coming in from a lot of directions, and we always miss something. Not miss something so much as it comes late, like it doesn't come here on time. Mike, everything here.
Yeah.
Everything here is new. And I know there's something there that you really love. Is it this little guy from Anrisan? Little Tsuchime
Yeah. No.
guy? Is it this little guy that you really loved, Mike?
No.
So
I
it's
think that's a
Algami-
great size knife
Algami
if
and
you're
stainless.
going to cut potatoes and carrots into a pot like my grandmother and never use a cutting board.
There's that little guy. I think that's the one you liked. It's $50 or $155. Or was there something on the other scale of size that was the one you liked, Mike?
Well, there is this guy that I think might be somewhere between the ridiculous or the obscene. Hold on.
Holy shit, how long is that?
Is that a sword?
That's a 360 millimeter Takobiki. Sakai Takayuki. Ginsan steel.
Or
The handle
Sakamaru,
is
that's how you call it, right?
Weng. Well, Zangetsu is this like series name that they've made up for it. They've got a
Keep
couple
showing.
of different series.
Give
So
it a good look.
Zangetsu's the series. Yeah. Wenji wood. Weng. I don't know how to pronounce that type of wood.
Venge.
Venge?
Venge.
Venge will be mine. Zangetsu. So Ginsan stainless steel. But holy cow, nice like little slight curvature to the blade. And then the Sakimaru being the kind of slightly curved tip there. Takobiki meaning it's usually got a blunted tip on one end. But yeah, kick ass. Look at this thing. It's huge. It's huge.
Hey, Mike. Why did the dad get fired from the calendar factory job?
I'm holding a 360. Like, really? I can cut that book in half right now.
You have to pay for it first. I know you won't.
I won't pay $1,300 for that book.
I got a question.
Go ahead, Nathan. Get us some
All right,
questions.
we have to have
Yeah,
a
so
quick
Sultan.
reading. No, Mike. Quick reading from the book.
All right, one
Nope,
joke.
You
and
get,
then-
you get a joke. Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance?
Because he was brokenhearted.
Because he had no body to go.
Holy.
Okay, so on to the questions. Sultan wants a good workhorse Gyuto. I think Sultan has tuned into pretty much every live stream we've had this week.
What does workhorse mean? Does he want stainless steel? Is he going to be cutting in a restaurant?
Yes.
No idea. Good
Cobalt.
workhorse Gyuto.
Shizukus are cobalt, aren't they? This is where I would go. It's a stainless steel Shizuku from it's a 210 from Kurosaki. For workhorse means I'm going to sharpen it a lot. So I'm going to look for a knife that's got this primary bevel like this. That's going to be easy to sharpen and not have to worry about re-etching it or something like if it's Damascus.
And for me, a workhorse means it's a bit thicker so I can be rotten to it.
Yeah, so you just passed me this Musashi. Definitely Musashis are a little thicker. Nice, so nicely made, super, super precise. Like it's perfectly straight. Yeah, so this Musashi's got carbon steel core, this one, with stainless steel cladding. So a little bit pushed up on the maintenance level, but the nice thing about white carbon steel, if you have ever sharpened it by yourself on a sharpening stone, it's the sharpest thing. It's the easiest thing to sharpen. It's lovely. So if you're going to be honing or sharpening your own knives, edge retention wise, super great that way. My vote's for this though. It's nice and light, nice deep bevel, textured blade face, looks great. Handmade, stainless, good edge retention, but not delicate. White carbon steel, a little bit more delicate. How's that? I hope that answered the question.
Typing. You should ask us questions. Don't type.
I'm just getting people some stickers in their orders.
Oh, there we go. Is there any questions? Now is the day. Today is the day to ask questions. Mike and I have had a really busy week, and we're both feeling tired. Both feeling kind of
honestly
whomped.
This Zangetsu is a beautiful knife, but I think if you were looking for a really beautifully made single bevel, so this is a 300 millimeter Yanagiba, which is a wicked size. If you're dealing with a large piece of tuna, making portions, slices, whatever, not even just sashimi, this is fantastic. And this is blue number one, or sorry, blue number two steel.
Blue number two, yeah.
And it is $342 for handmade. Honestly, that's a fantastic deal for this.
And these
we got some Deba as well.
came in. So we've got the two Yanagiba and the two Deba.
Yeah.
And it's very unusual to have a Kurochi finished Deba, Yanagiba, and Usuba. So these are from Sasaoka.
That's right.
And like I said, these are brand new, just came in, Sasaoka. $235 for the Deba, for a handmade Deba.
I like the weight on them because they can just, like, as you just you just slide it back and it drops right through and does the cutting for you.
So Sultan is in chef school actually, that's something
Right.
all of us have done.
Oh,
And works in a restaurant in Palmas del Mar Resort.
Oh, right on.
So if we need to get out of here at some point
To
go visit him at the
to
resort.
Palmas del Mar, which I'm
we should
assuming
go
is in the
find
United
out.
States, somewhere in the United States.
no, it's not the
Puerto
United
Rico
States,
by the
Mike.
look of it.
Well, I guess it is.
We want to know where Palmas del Mar is. Send us pictures. It sounds lovely.
Yeah.
It's
well,
snowing and cold outside here, so
And speaking of workhorse knives, Dr. G, what about the Kisuke ATS 34
Oh,
Gyuto?
shit, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
says Puerto Rico.
That is an excellent choice.
I'm not sure if we've got the Gyuto left. That Zuyin would be great too. Yeah, ATS 34 is often used as a hunting knife steel and made to be very rugged. But in this case, the blacksmith has hardened the steel in sub-zero temperatures, which really allows the steel to end up at a much higher hardness in the 63, 64, I think, for
Something
this.
like that. And the way he forges it too, it's forged in a diamond. The
Tough.
spine is flat, and then it
Oh, yeah.
goes like that. It's hard to see on the camera, but it's forged in a diamond shape, in the profile,
Yeah,
which
so
just makes it really a lot more rugged.
if I go like this, it tapers up towards this ridge here, and then it becomes narrower as it comes towards the spine, is what he's trying to say. So,
Hey, our buddy Rakesh is on. And he
Rakesh,
says,
what's up,
I
dude?
need one of those, and one of those, and one of those.
Well, Rakesh, I need to unpack a barbecue.
I was gonna say I'm gonna try that barbecue out this weekend. I'm excited.
Yeah, our man Rakesh sent us some barbecues from Traeger. So thanks, buddy. We're gonna give those a go and hopefully make some delicious food.
this would be another fantastic workhorse. Western style handle, right? It's Paco wood, so it's pretty bomb proof. If you're working at one of those hotels or resorts that doesn't like wooden handle things, this should pass. Plus, you got the full tang. If that's a thing you like. I think full tang for us is a preference. It's not a sign of quality. Like some people used to think that was, you get a good knife, you got to get one with the 2 guys on it, and you got to get the full tang, son. But beautiful knife. This does have that Damascus finish. When I was talking about that, I mean, it's about sharpening.
This is not a real good workhorse all-purpose knife. Just saying. But if you need a Nikiri that is
Well, if your 2 jobs were to cut,
400 millimeters
if your
long or whatever
2
this
jobs
is,
were making sauerkraut and then cutting pizza, that would be perfect.
cutting watermelons then pizza.
Oh, watermelon pizza and cabbage.
Oh, such a good knife for that.
Hey,
This one's $89 and it's called the Torjiro. What do they call it? They used to call it the Almighty Knife. But on the
That's
website now, you have
pretty
to look
good,
under Torjiro. I don't know what now.
BFK.
Yeah,
BFN.
big.
Large multi-purpose.
case.
Very, very
It's called
direct
the
and to
large
point.
multi-purpose knife. There you go. See, I told you you can do everything with it.
Lily Q got a Moritaka Kurochi Santoku yesterday. So it's a beautiful knife.
that?
Yeah.
So that's this guy. I think you
That was
are.
one of my first.
I was going to say, I think you are qualified to speak about the Moritaka knives because I think you have 7.
Yep. And I actually just recently got to make one with him, and it's my favorite knife.
Hey, Todd Lawrence says hello.
Oh, buddy, what's up?
Hello, Todd Lawrence.
Those Moritakas are amazing, and I think my thing with Moritakas is there's knives that have harder steel, there's knives that have more refined finishes, there's knives that are arguably better on some characteristics, but I like cutting food with them better than all of the other knives I have. I simply just enjoy it more, and I don't know why. Just the way they make them, they feel great when you're cutting food. And I mean, they're not stainless steel, so you wipe them dry, but no big deal. Just don't let it rust.
Speaking of the ATS 34 Manaka knives, somebody's wondering if you can compare the height of the Santoku, the 210, and the 240, if we have all 3 of those on hand.
Of the ATS.
Of the ATS.
Well, we got the Santoku.
Yep.
We got the. You're playing, but we've got this.
Oh, these are beauty.
We got the this. We've got the this. And the 240?
Mm-hmm. The 240 of which?
I'm going to go get it.
ATS 34.
Oh, it's not this one. I grabbed the wrong thing.
That's
this guy.
yeah. I don't see a 240 on the table.
I'm going to go down the aisle and see if I can grab it.
We might have one left. We might be gone.
There are no 240s here.
Hey,
They're 210?
Don Penny's saying he's never actually seen the Traeger Ranger in action, which is the grill that we got. So
Come on over, Don. We'll light it up this weekend, bud.
Yeah.
Take her out for a rip.
We just don't have those.
Don, I'm going to be firing that up at my house on
I have one at the store.
probably Saturday. So I'll make sure I post some pictures and video of it on our Instagram story. But we should definitely do a live brisket something where we carve up the brisket with the Sujihiki.
I don't know if you want to do it when it's live.
That'd be fun. Well, we'll do it when the brisket's done. Oh, you mean when the cow's live?
Get it? Get it? I don't have to write. I don't have to get my dad jokes out of a book like some other sellers I know.
Stay there, Nathan. Stay there, Nathan. We got some questions for you, buddy.
Yeah. Questions about the new knife blocks?
Workhorse 240.
Question. What do you think of the Ishime finish?
Ishime finish, I love. Do we have one handy here? No. Ellie, can you grab me a Ishime finish Moritaka? So my first Japanese knife I bought from Kevin like 9 years ago, and it was a Moritaka Ishime, and they've been making that finish for a very long time, but they didn't put it on a kitchen knife until Kevin asked them to and told them it would be a really good idea.
And even then, they only said they would do it on Gyutos only.
Oh my god.
Well, because they said it was a
Crazy.
knife shape or a finish.
So this is actually one of the knives I use the most in my kitchen. The Moritaka Magna Nikiri. I love this thing. It's kind of like a hybrid between a Nikiri and a Chinese cleaver, and it's bloody awesome. Yeah, I love this thing.
Sexy.
And that Ishime finish, look at that. Look how awesome that is. And that, what did you say the other day, Kevin? That extra hammering, that cold hammering gives the steel a little more hardness.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit harder and a little bit tougher too. And it's less likely to bend. So Moritaka senses that knife, by putting that finish on kitchen knives, it's improved them considerably.
Yeah, he said the extra work goes into it. He said he feels like this is the best knife that they make.
Yeah. So what I've already done, I've already ordered some Ishime Algami super knives for the next garage sale.
Great.
Ordered 20 Hanasukis.
Oh, sweet.
I haven't ordered any other shapes, just Hanasukis.
Yeah, we got those by accident, by the way. We didn't even order those. They just showed up. And
well, they know
and
the
they became
accidents.
very popular.
They know. They understand.
Yeah.
So I've recently been doing this thing because I've got a Kiritsuki with the Ishime finish on it. And as I'm cutting something, if I feel like my knife is just sort of starting to bind up or hesitating or not like just drifting through the food, I will grab that Moritaka with the Ishime finish. And every time it just it's no problem.
Up. You're talking about sauerkraut knives? This is literally my sauerkraut knife.
Yeah,
and
right.
I make a lot of sauerkraut, and this thing is amazing for it.
I mean, look at that vest.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
This German vest. I'm actually surprised we have any of these in stock still, because they seem like they're always sold out.
Awesome.
What else we got, Kevin?
James Wang says the Asuba, the Doi Asuba he's bought is beautiful. He's trying to remove the handle, but it seems to be glued in.
Oh no.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's not standard to glue handles in,
Okay.
but I asked for all of them.
Because I asked Naoto on Monday. James was asking on the stream on Monday, and I asked Naoto. He's like, I don't know. It's probably burned in. So, sorry,
I
James.
think it's glued in. But he says he's going to soak it in water because he wants to get the handle off so you can see the signature of the Doi sign.
Yeah. And then you should get a clear handle for it. That would be super cool.
Mount Everest said, I'd like to echo Brian's comment. I spend way too much time hanging out either here, Instagram, or the Ottawa store. It's always a blast. That's nice.
To the Ottawa store.
Unless they're here.
While Kevin's reading the questions.
Oh, here's
Yeah.
one.
Oh,
Gotta
yeah.
look at these knife blocks. These have just come to us today, and this is from
Sticks and boards.
Sticks and Boards. This is actually from a guy in Ottawa, and I mean, if Chris Lord's watching, he might tell us, might correct us, but I'm pretty sure this guy is actually a furniture maker in Ottawa,
Yes.
and he has made these absolutely gorgeous knife blocks. We're always looking for a better version of a knife block, especially the countertops.
The worst part about a knife block is you don't actually get to see your sexy knives.
Yeah, so look, he's carved grooves and stuck the wood in the groove for the separators. It's hollow so you can see your knives, right?
Well,
so you
and
have
the
these
woods
little
he
slots.
chooses. Beautiful.
Here's one we prepared earlier.
With the magic of
Just like
television.
Blue Peter.
And you can stick 2 of them together for different heights.
But take a look at the wood on that. It's all like beautiful walnut. Try to cut my hand as I move this thing. Yeah, look at that. That would actually match my
Show the-
Magna
show the-
block really nicely.
Right? You can
Yeah.
see all your knives in there.
Woo.
So this is our first order of them, and I think there's a chance we can get some that you can actually mount on your wall too.
Oh,
Yeah. That'd be
that'd be really cool, actually.
I'd be into that.
Listen, Dustin Rogers says, not garage sale related, but I was just in the Calgary store. I was hoping to pick up a Harayuki Mugi Petty, but it's sold out in store and online. Any chance you might be getting more by Christmas?
I checked the orders, and we have it on order, but we don't have word of any coming yet. So maybe. Your best bet is we can recommend a similar knife. We have some pretty awesome ones like this guy.
Yeah, what size is it? Probably the 135. I think that's all there is.
Yeah,
from
he's looking for
Mugi.
an 80.
Yeah.
80. Oh, 80s are hard to come by. I would snag that one
Yeah.
for sure. Mugi's nice with the stainless effect, unless you're trying to complete a set. I think we'd be able to find you something else sooner than the Mugi would arrive.
It sounds like he's looking for a Christmas present for someone.
Ah, I see. Well,
Also, Iceberg Mama says, I haven't settled yet. I need a 240 or maybe 210 carbon steel Gyuto. Likely Shirogami. Don't cut Mike's ear off. You're right behind him.
a 240 or a 210? Shiro.
210 or 240 Shirogami.
240, 210 Shirogami. You're badass. That is a badass knife request. That
Yeah, honestly.
is what I was
Who makes this one again? That's that Nishiji.
That's Munetoshi.
Munetoshi. I like it because it's got a nice thin edge, but the spine isn't paper thin. So it's not going to be super, super, super fragile. I mean, it's still carbon steel, right? But it's got a little bit of meat up here.
Yeah, get that Musashi. Iceberg Mama.
This guy rules. A little bit thicker, heavier blade, sort of the Niigata style, but he's got this beautiful, like mirror polished Nishiji finish. This is very sexy.
Right?
That's Shiro. Well, Sakai. Yes, that one is. Yeah.
Old Sakai, O-U-L, Sakai. This guy, it's Sakai style, so they measure it from back here. So it's slightly shorter than a 240 blade-wise, but you hold it like a chef's knife, and it's going to feel like a slightly bigger 210, which to me I think is super manageable. No, I'm a big 240 person, but this guy feels awesome in my hand, and it's got octagonal handle, which is always a good choice. Look at that, super comfortable in the hand.
John May says, I'm actually deboning some chicken thighs with a Moritaka Hanasuki that I bought on Monday.
Nice, John.
Oh, right on.
So, yeah, John, give us a
sweet.
review. That'd be great.
Yeah, because we sent him out the Ishime one from Vancouver. I remember setting that up for him. I'm glad that showed up so quick.
Trevor wants to know how much for the knife blocks. We never
Yeah.
did say how much they were. Are they on the site yet?
They're on the site. So look up sticks and boards, or if you go to the top kind of navigation bar, go to accessories, go to knife storage. This guy's the small. You have to double check the size on the site, but I believe this guy fits up to 8-inch. He's 110. For me, I mean, we're talking about 240s and big knives. You're going to need this guy. And it's free, which is great. No, this guy's 140, and it's an 11.5-inch. So unless you have some like
Well, this one's
massive carving knives-
125. Is that a different size?
Yeah, that's the mid size. This guy's the 10, I believe.
So
I believe it goes
110,
8, 10, and 11.5. That guy's 125, but just go big. This way you're going to be able to fit like, let's see, got a 240 Suji there. Ooh, yeah, look at that. Look at that. That's definitely the way to go.
Iceberg Mama says it's cheap.
Iceberg Mama, I have more for you.
He says that Sakai looks awesome. What's the full name of it?
It's OU. So sorry, that was Iceberg Mama, you said?
Yeah.
That's this guy. It is the Ol Sakai, OULSAKAI, and this is a 240 Gyuto.
In 210, we also have the Tanaka and we have the Kisuke Shirogami. This has got a bit more texture to the blade. This is just a super nice, super even, long, thin grind on it.
It's a great grind, and I love the texture on it. That kind of sandblasted texture. It feels like a Mac laptop.
A Mac
You know what knife I've been loving this week? And of course,
laptop.
I keep convincing myself I don't need another one, but
Yes,
this
you
guy
do.
might break me. Look at that guy. This is like a kind of Kiritsuke, but it's closer to a bunka size. I've been really turned on to these like mono wood handles lately. A lot of people are asking for knives that are all the same wood, or handles that are all the same wood all the way through. And I kind of love it.
Single origin. Single origin.
Single origin.
I'm sick of my wood coming from multiple places.
This guy,
Single.
I also like knives that are really heavy in the blade rather than the handle. I don't really love German handles, so this guy is all blade. And I'm lazy, so this is going to do all the work for me.
All
which I
blade
love.
all the time. Can you tell me the name of our friend who is looking for that Mugi Petty? I haven't got the Mugi, but
Oh,
we do have the Goma. So
that's Dustin Rogers.
Dustin Rogers, this is essentially the same knife. A slightly different handle, a little bit more brown versus that blacker handle, but this is a VG10 core steel. So it's going to actually hold its edge a little bit longer. We've been carrying these knives for as long as I've worked here, so like 2 years. And holy cow, like these knives are so popular because they're so good at their job, which is being good at sharp and staying that way. And not easily damaged either. You have to work it to do that.
Just remember, everybody, we're having a contest in the comments to help pick Kevin's next knife.
Oh,
So
I need to know.
Comment the number you want. So far,
The contest is
number
Kevin
4.
wins one of the knives that you pick for him. That's the contest, by the way.
number 4 is the most popular right now. But we have number 1.
Hey, Mike, do you have Toyama over there?
No.
That's number 1. Nice blade size.
We got a couple of different ones, but they're mostly similar. Great present
Number
for your
2. I really hope you guys pick the one I want.
Are they in
And
garage
I'm not going to
sale?
say which one it is.
Might
But
have
if you
to
pick the one
search
I
Toyama.
want, then I can't buy it.
or pruning or shears.
These are white carbon steel too.
That's number 2.
Mike, Todd Lawrence is saying, what's the damage on that fat Ishime Nikiri you were showing?
The
Mega
Ishime Nikiris are 4.
I've got the
actually
site
got
pulled
a
up there.
site open here. I can search this, can't I?
Yeah, why don't you answer?
I want to
the
say it's
question?
like 3.
It's gonna it's for
Todd, you need this knife.
It's
I
$2.98.
know you.
298.
What?
Oh wow, look
Sorry.
at us go.
You're not in US dollars there?
I don't think so.
I just think that's incredibly cheap.
Well,
Kevin
but
said
for
it's
Todd-
298.
But
I
for
get
Todd, $3.98.
it. Todd, we got a deal for you, buddy.
It's the Red Deer special.
It's gonna come with a box and everything. Someone had just passed me these. We hadn't been bringing up these things at all. These are totally not kitchen knives. These are Toyama carbon steel pruning shears. These things are incredible. I have a pair. You can cut branches the size of your thumb like they weren't even there. They're beautiful. They have a little clip on the back, spring loaded. These little grips keep from your hands from slipping on it. And Nathan, give me your finger.
No.
Why not?
No.
It'll go back.
That's not very nice.
No, these things are outstanding. If you like gardening,
But
and you like
if you are in the mafia, I'm sure it'd be great for that too. I actually think Todd Lawrence has some of those because I hear Japanese bonsai stuff is really good for pruning your legal 2 cannabis plants. So if that,
do you know
if
who
you're
else
an
has a
at-home
pair of
barber.
those? You know who else has a pair of those? Is the head gardener at the Embassy of Japan at their big grounds on that. They've got a mighty old building.
Oh, wow.
he has the shears or the legal 2 plants.
He has the shears for sure,
Shears for sure, right?
but I don't know about the other.
Right. Canadian Momoji.
It's important to note, Naoto, because you're Japanese. Did you get a letter from the Japanese government when Canada legalized marijuana?
Yes, I got the email.
And what did the email say, Naoto?
You may get arrested if you smoke pot in Canada and go back. You may get arrested. I don't mean that, but you may get arrested.
really,
So there you go.
that's entertaining.
If you're a Japanese national and in Canada smoking pot, you might get arrested.
I guess
if
you're
they
stuck with
find
us
out.
now, Todd.
Naoto doesn't smoke the ganja, does he?
No,
Might get
he's
arrested.
guilty by
Doesn't matter.
association.
He's legal. Well, it's legal.
Not really.
He's not. Never mind.
He's not.
Michael Frowley out in New Zealand says, I just found out that Canada isn't real. Apparently, it's all maple leaf.
That's true. Yeah.
Is
See you, have a good one.
is there any Miyabi Nikiri 180 coming anytime soon? I'm desperate.
Oh, good
Says Shania
lord,
Twain.
On
no.
order.
Which
They've
Miyabi?
been
Birchwood.
Birchwood. Okay.
Miyabi has been
Shania.
we've been really challenged in getting
Stamina.
inventory from Miyabi in the last little while. We get everything we can, but drips and drabs. Is that the saying? If you have your name on the back in stock call list, that is the best way to get an idea of when it comes back. As soon as we process it and receive it into our inventory, you automatically get an email. But I'm assuming you're trying to go for a matching set. I'm happy to show you some other Nikiris. You're cutting the top of my head off again. Wow.
Rakesh says Japanese brooding shears are great for spatchcocking.
Oh, yeah, they sure would. Yeah. Okay, now I have a
Todd
thing about
Lawrence
this.
said, Nathan, give me that knife. I want that Mega Nikiri. Put my name on it.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Yeah.
So that's easy.
Like put your name on the knife.
Stop it.
God.
Come on, I'm prisoner to your terrible jokes all the time.
Oh, my jokes are funny.
Yeah,
I
Todd,
come out of
you
a
need
book.
one. Well, and Todd's running a restaurant now too. So if you guys are in Red Deer, of course I've forgotten the name of it. Taco something.
Taco Todd.
Taco Todd.
Yeah, sure, Taco Todd.
Just Google
but
Taco Todd.
yeah, Todd, throw your name, the name of your restaurant in the comments because my brain is drawing a blank. Great little taco spot in Red Deer.
Taco Todd.
How much are these? Look at this. These are from Shiba in Japan. He has this company called West Japan Tools, and he makes, as you might know, the most amazing carbon steel frying pan known to man.
148.
This is $148. This is like the nicest canvas, stitched together beautifully. It's made by hand.
It's also the nicest camo I've ever seen. Like it looks like stylish 70s camo, like a silk shirt or something.
Yeah.
It's not.
And this is all Okayama denim.
Yeah, and then we've got some Japanese selvage denim too. Super simple, right? Just a quick little tie around. I like this style of knife bag myself because honestly, the other ones that get too bulky if you're going to try to chuck your stuff in a bag.
There's less effing around with these ones too, like the wrap.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was in American dollars. I don't know why.
It's okay. You got to change over?
It is. Those are 190. That means the Mega Nikiri was a totally different price, Todd.
I had a few. So when you said 390 something, I think you were right. Sorry, Todd.
Still 298. Why change it to Canadian? It goes back.
I don't know.
Okay. What else we got?
Yeah,
Any
we got some more questions.
Oh yeah, I got lots of
Keep
questions.
going,
I'm
folks.
sorry. How much are the shears? I can answer that. How could I get the height of the Kyusuke ATS 34 Sentoku for Dr. G?
And is that the ATS?
ATS.
Great.
ATS 34.
Where is the ATS 34?
It's right here.
Oh,
I hid it under those
Can
things.
somebody tell Todd 384 is the real price?
Todd, 384 was the real price
Kevin's an idiot.
because Kevin quoted you in US dollars. I would never say such things about him.
Not when I'm here.
40, so kind of just like right here, if you can see where my ruler is held up on the knife, sort of just where your hand would be gripping, kind of the tallest point is just 48 millimeters. 48 millimeters tall. I'll give you a weight on it too if you're interested. If you're not interested, I'm still going to give you the weight. It is 142 grams, cherry handle, black papa collar, paca wood. But no, it's like, dude, this knife feels fantastic. Like Kevin was saying, that really cool. Like, so he's not like grinding the steel down to create this. The best blacksmiths, like the Moritakas, and Kevin can list them all who do this, but they don't just hammer out a piece of steel and grind the whole shape onto the knife. They'll actually do some of that hammering to create that physical shape of the knife before, and then finish it off by grinding it to flatten it out. But they're not doing a whole bunch of stock removal.
you said this is called U.S. Marine?
That's the U.S. Marine helmet camouflage from World War
Oh,
II.
no kidding.
So there you go.
They had nicer looking camouflage back then. This is great.
They made better
Are
camouflage.
you like a
then.
camouflage aficionado?
No, I just don't
No,
like
somebody
it
just
usually.
told me that knows. somebody's looking for fancy handle knives. You got 3 in front of you. The only 3 custom handle knives there.
Yeah, the only custom handle knives left. Where?
They'd like to know what they are, what they're called,
What are you
and
doing,
what's the
What are
price.
you doing?
I want to just turn on the comments so I can see
Right
those
there.
right here. Great.
Can we also have this open?
Okay, can somebody tell me the price and the name of that knife?
Yep.
This knife is a Kumo,
Masakage Kumo.
Masakage Kumo 210. It is $527. And we have got this beautiful funky wood handle. It's not super funky, I would say. I would say it is super exquisite and classy.
Tasteful.
Yeah.
Reminds me of cigar boats in Venice.
Oh, cigar boat Venice handle. No, this guy is making some really nice handles, really nice details, very smooth.
This
Like,
is my favorite.
Such
of the ones
nice
that are left.
shine to the wood.
Because the pink one's not left. This guy, I love.
Yeah, and that's the
right?
Kobayashi SG2 Damascus.
Which is just
That
like the
handle's
way to go.
sweet.
Yeah, man.
I don't have an SG2 knife yet.
You're an idiot.
I know. You don't have to tell me.
Listen, Todd Lawrence's restaurant's called Taco Loft.
Taco Loft.
So it's not
Right.
Taco Todd.
It's not taco time either.
Somebody would like you to talk about the Munetoshi knives.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Munetoshi.
Oh yeah,
Um,
the red.
I remember Nacho talking about these. That I forget the region he's from. Can you look up that thing that he sent us?
Well, I'll just tell you about it.
D-shaped handle. Sorry, go ahead.
Koichi Tsuramaki is a 3rd generation blacksmith in
right.
Sanjo,
Oh,
and he's specialized in sickles. And these are 2 types of bladesmith in Sanjo. There's the bladesmiths that do like tools and the bladesmiths that do kitchen knives.
Yeah.
But he does both.
solid.
So he started working with his father when he was 16, and after half a century, he started making kitchen knives that are considered to be a usamono, or thin blade, which is his specialty.
It's really nice, sort
White
of.
carbon steel and clad with soft iron.
I'll run it on here so you can see, but really nice profile. It doesn't come to a flat spot at all. I've seen or used a knife where the profile, the curvature is just at the tip and then the back of the blade is really flat. If you're getting into a lot of chopping, you kind of get this dull thud at the end of your motion, where this, with that heel that drops down, it's like a continuous curve. If you're chopping with it, your knife will just roll. It would be super nice. If you're chopping a lot and get into chopping quickly, that knife would be super. Except for it would probably be so sharp it would like slow down as it hit the cutting board. But that's, these are things we deal with.
The first time I got a knife that was that sharp, it actually taught me how to cut better.
Yeah.
Like to not be such a ham-fisted caveman and to actually like pay attention to what the knife was doing.
You learn to be less ham-fisted?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Substantially less.
Okay.
Okay, Robert Sharkey is looking for a Tsujihiki that does not scare them when they're chopping, slicing, that's got peppercorns, things like that. So Robin's saying that Robin gets paranoid about chipping a Tsujihiki on peppercorns.
Right.
Slicing a large roast and needs one that can get them over the chipping paranoia.
I would go with definitely a whale knife, definitely a Gyuto. Yeah, go for it. Yeah,
This guy made out of-
that's a ZDP. ZDP is really quite a tough steel. It's just also really a big challenge if you actually chip the steel. It's very difficult to grind that steel. But I think you'd be okay for sure with a
Not the
peppercorn.
prettiest, but it would work.
Stop it.
Where's
That's a
that?
stupid slice. You want to narrow one? Get that Saji.
I was gonna say there's that SRS 13 somewhere.
There's that Saji right there.
What are these guys made
Yeah,
out of?
Saji.
R2.
These are R2, but they're a lot
Oh.
thicker than most
Oh, oh,
R2
oh.
knives.
Yeah.
So they've got a little more
Answer.
thickness to the spine.
SLD.
Oh yeah.
Masashi SLD is great too. I'll be honest, we don't, when we're sharpening, we hardly see his knives come in with chips in them. Unlike when he worked for his brother.
AJ's asking, are you sure you'll have the Saji Tsuchimi knives as a knifeware line permanently?
That's the zero.
That's the ones in the boxes.
The Saji Tsuchimi. Are we going to have them permanently?
Okay.
I don't know. Is that true? Fingers crossed we will. Saji's really quite a dependable maker. I
Sometimes.
think the more we sell them, the more we can build up our orders with him. Yeah, those are pretty nice. So, are you reading the Facebook comments, Kevin?
I'm reading both.
Both? Okay, great.
Any knives in desert ironwood? 240 Gyuto desert ironwood.
Saji R2 desert. Like, are you ready? Okay, here you go. This thing is a work of art. Ironwood, nickel Damascus, R2 powdered stainless. Beautiful. Little chrysanthemum pin there. Like, the craftsmanship that Saji's got is amazing. And I don't know, I've used some of his knives, man. They are super, super nice.
And I wouldn't say you can cut a car door in half, but they're certainly rugged.
A little bit more than some of the others, yeah. And a little bit heftier.
Well, I think that's because his hunting knife pedigree.
That's true, yeah. So this is the Saji R2 Ironwood. It's the 240 Gyuto is 846. And what a sexy beast that is.
All right, feed us another one, Kevin.
Paul says, can you guys tell me about Yoshimi Kato's Kirisuke? I know that you had ones with the funky handles, but sold. Will Knifewear carry any more of those?
The Yoshimi Kato Kirisuke.
I don't remember
That's the
them.
hard thing about some of the garage sale stuff.
Yeah, a lot of it's stuff that we have trouble getting full time, and this is a fun chance for us to bring it in for, kind of a special deal.
Oh, is he thinking about a Kirisuke like slicer styles? Because there's this Sakai Ul, and I would jump on that. Yoshimi Kato is a fantastic blacksmith. Sakai Ul is also phenomenal. And one of the reasons I really like it is the grind. It gets a little bit wider up at the where this grind starts, but nice long slim grind on that blade.
If you're not looking for a slicer and you want one that's more like a chef's knife, that is what you want.
Yeah, there's that too.
Come on.
Uh,
Look at that thing.
Listen, there's been a lot of talk about that huge multi-purpose knife that Torjiro called it. That 345 millimeters Nikiri.
Yeah.
Don Penny says it's really good if you would like to do a dozen smoked deviled eggs with one cut.
Yeah.
So there you go. Don Penny's taken out time between wrestling sharks and bears to be with us tonight.
what had we showed? Iceberg MoMA?
Sorry about that. What is the third suggestion for the 240 Gyutos? It was the Ul Sakai, the Munitoshi.
I had pulled over the Tanaka and the
Yoshikazu Tanaka.
and the Kisuke, or made by Manaka.
The Kisuke is how they
Kisuke, and this is the Shirogami. Both Shirogami. Nice, thin, fine grind. This is a really beautiful knife. And this one, yeah, different here. Like, look at this. The Kisuke, look how wide it gets down here. Really comfortable grip when you have a blade that flares out at the tang as it comes into the handle like that.
I like that. Most of the
Heavier.
Kagi's have that feel too. I like that.
A little bit more finesse on this guy, I would say, on the Tanaka.
That's like I was saying earlier. I like that
Did that
Manaka because
trigger?
I'm lazy and I want the blade to do more of the work for me.
So I'm hoping Iceberg MoMA lets us know if there's further questions.
Yeah.
Dr. G. Dr. G in the
G.
house. Should I get the Kisuke ATS 34 Santoku
Both.
Yes.
and a sperm whale knife,
Yes.
or just the Kisuke 210? So the Santoku and a sperm whale knife, or just a 210?
Do you already have one of these shapes and not the other? I would go 210 because I just love 210.
But then you don't get the sperm whale knife.
Mighty Michu's asking, were those Kurisaki's that you just showed?
The two knives I just showed were the Kisuke, which is what Nathan's got in his left hand there.
Yeah.
And the other one was the Tanaka, which is the one with the sort of semi-polished or sandblasted finished blade here.
Tanaka.
Tanaka.
So not Kurosaki's.
Shaka.
Steve J, why are your questions being ignored? Are you being ignored again?
Are we ignoring Steve J? Well, it looks like he's told me I've ignored him now 7 times.
I didn't see
So,
your question. I'm sorry.
I think that was the
I'm
one
gonna
about
peel
the.
back here and find his questions.
I saw one about a
Have you asked
Kobayashi.
my questions? No. Wants to see a nice Kobayashi 210. There you go.
That's this guy. It's a pretty sweet knife. As much as I talk about loving heavy knives, I do have a couple nice thin knives like this at home, and they're pretty rad. I would use this knife because I eat a lot of potatoes, and I would cut every potato with this knife because it just glides through thick foods. Yeah. Let us know if you want to know anything about this guy.
Here we are with a couple of Kurosakis. So this is the Senko Shizuku. Yeah, Shizuku and Senko. These are both R2 powder stainless, which seems to be the steel he settled on, that and cobalt. But we've got these are the only ones we have left. Just like ridiculously nice textures. His fit and finish, like he's a young blacksmith, but this guy really knows what he's doing. And I mean, if you're onto the knife world thing, you see his name a lot because it's a good reason, because he's pretty fantastic.
Hot shot.
I would say he's a hot shot. Musashi is a real big hot shot in my mind.
Yeah.
I think Musashi doesn't get the coverage because he might not do as much promotion. But holy Jesus, man, his knives are fantastic.
Yeah.
Holy
How does
bunkers.
R2 compare to SG2? Practically identical.
Naoto's
Different
here.
manufacturer.
Hold on. Naoto's here. Naoto's going to tell us exactly.
R2 and SG2?
Yes.
It's exactly the same steel. Depends on where they buy the steel from. They may change the names. SG2 is the package special steel name. R2 is the cobalt-less name.
Yeah, different manufacturer name. So I mean, there might be some small differences. I've not seen differences or felt differences in either using it or sharpening it. I mean, you can give a baker, 2 different bakers, the same bag of flour and get 2 different loaves of bread. But I find the results. Have you found any different results between the two in your kind
Same
of
thing.
experience? Yeah,
Same thing.
same.
Listen.
Same.
Don Petty
Look
says, I don't have a Santoku from you guys yet, and I'm not buying any more knives this year.
Good.
Unless,
Sure.
Good.
unless you show me
Don't.
something cool.
Good.
So if you can see a cool...
Yeah, ATS 34 for sure is the cool one. That's the cool one, Don. And this, if you don't have a Santoku, this is likely going to be, you go for a good one, because this is likely going to be one of the knives that you use the most day in, day out, as you're cutting up an orange or making a salad or cutting something for a stir fry or slicing up an onion. Santokus are such easy knives to reach for. I consider it one of the core knives to get. So yeah, I think the ATS 34 is a real great one.
Don't listen to him, Don. You need this guy. This is like a monster tall Gyuto, which is great because if you're
Oh my
anything
God,
like me
I
and
want
you
that
got
knife so
big
badly.
8 hands, it's perfect. This knife is like a quarter bigger than any of the Gyutos I have at home, and it's pretty sweet. Yeah, I like this thing. And octagonal handles. I mean, come on.
Paul's looking for a white or blue carbon steel double bever Hirosuke. The Kato fit perfectly his wants. So Naoto's hunting around for things that fit. Like, for example,
Look at that tip on that thing.
this Moritaka here too. So guys, maybe Paul wants to see the Moritaka Hirosuke there. Also, James Martin just says, I love my Musashi knives. I'm very partial to them, which is good.
This is the 240, right?
How much does a tall Gyuto weigh? Oh, wait.
So my first Japanese knife was a Moritaka 240 Gyuto, but the nice thing about the Kiritsuke, extra weight up here. So again, it's going to do all that work for you. It's just going to fall through food.
All right, hey, Naoto, do you have
That's
time to talk about steel
shocking.
for a bit?
This is pretty surprisingly light at 188 grams.
That's pretty surprising that
I'm going to put it on the
with that
scale
knife.
again, just to make sure I didn't screw something up.
Pretty surprising that I'm going home
Oh,
with that
it's
knife
still
today.
188 grams. That's incredible.
It's incredibly
This
surprising that I
knife is
didn't go
so
home with it
wicked.
yet.
That texturing on the side of the blade, the way it feels, I think this nice tall bevel, because it's such a big knife. I feel like cutting with this thing would be amazing. It would probably just float through whatever it is that you wanted to cut. It's amazing. Yeah, okay. There you go, John May. That's the tall Gyuto.
Naoto,
Yeah.
Naoto Fujimoto.
Yeah.
We've got people asking, how does R2 or SG2 compare to blue steel? And also, what's going on with Ginsan and what is AU8, AUS 8? So I thought we could just have a
Get on here.
have a steel.
Now
moment.
it's going to nerd out on steel.
I can answer these questions, but you can answer.
By the
them
way,
nerdier.
if anybody likes asking nerdy questions about steel and sharpening, this guy is live every Friday at 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time tomorrow here on YouTube. Take it away, Nato.
Blue carbon steel, SG2, high-speed powder stainless steel. Biggest difference is obviously it's a high carbon steel or the stainless steel. Powder steels are made with the, it's like a pill. They vaporize, they basically mix all the steel elements together with the, and they vaporize it into super powders, and they'll press it down like making a pill, so that the advantage is that the having that method will make the structure so much more even and finer, so it gets the very consistent quality and it gets very nice smooth edge. Great thing about carbon steel or the blue carbon steel, well, any carbon steel reacts to the forging so well. So when they actually pounds it with the hammer, it gets better and better. It gets basically break it down into the smaller molecule pieces. Well, not molecules, the particle pieces. So it gets better and better by forging it. What was the question? The AS8. AS8. Also, AS8 is great stainless steel. It's not as quite hard as some of the stainless steel. It will hold the edge as long, but it's really, really durable. Here's the category. AS8 is in the category of so-called molybdenum and vanadium steel. Molybdenum and vanadium steel is basically, it's a whole category of steel with molybdenum and vanadium in steel. So AS8, for example, AS8, VG5, these are very similar in terms of what's in there. So molybdenum, vanadium steel, there isn't not such a steel called molybdenum vanadium. It's just whole category of steels there.
It's a way of making stainless steel more stainless.
Excellent. Also, did you answer how does R2 compare to Agone Super?
Yeah.
How about Ginsan?
Yes, Ginsan. Ginsan is the one blacksmith in that's good. One blacksmith in Sakai really loves this type of steel. Yamatsuka-san in Sakai, he loves Ginsan because what he believes is that Ginsan, despite it's the stainless steel, acts almost like a carbon steel. Remember what I said about blue carbon steel. Carbon steel reacts very well with the hammers. More you hammer, more you forge, it will become better. Yamatsuka-san found that it's the same in the Ginsan. So it's really favorite steel among the, especially the Yamatsuka-san find it really interesting, or the found it is really good steel. There are only few knife maker works with the Ginsan though, because it's a little bit hard. But that's how people in Sakai perceive the Ginsan as stainless steel that can forge and make it better.
Perfect. Also, which chip's easier? Which was more stable, R2 or Super Blue?
Oh, there's a really difficult questions to answer.
Because workmanship's important too.
Exactly. The grind and workmanship, heat treatment is all important factors. say if you compare the white carbon steel to blue carbon steel or super blue carbon steel, those super blue, and if they're ground the same, super blue carbon steel will not chip as easy as white carbon steel. That's the fact.
Mhm.
Because the elements that I added, a little bit of tungsten, a little bit of chromium, they will make the matrix a little bit stronger, a bit tougher, so that it doesn't chip off as easy. But R2 Origami Super, it's really hard if it's been ground the same, heat treat the same to the same hardness. Although I found the R2 has a little bit more wear resistance, so it probably does have a little bit more durability compared to Origami Super, but also Origami Super has really high wear resistance. These are very similar, I think.
Okay. Also, how does VG10 compare to other stainless steels?
VG10s are great. The one of the
Okay, actually, now to say that again, because I like VG10 as well.
VG10s great.
And there's like a whole. I was at a knife forum recently,
Oh, that's your problem.
and I went to a knife forum and I found out that VG10 is shitty steel. Really stupid, really garbage.
VG10 is great. The it is the one of the signature steel from that the Takefu special steel. Really from the they have V series, VG series, and I think the VG10
You
is
censor your
the
face, Mark?
probably one of the best steel that those guys came up with in that series. They have VG1, they have VG1, V1, they have VG5, VG10, and among those, it's really well balanced. It takes really decent edge, pretty easy. It doesn't chip as easy as some of the very hot, like much hotter steels. Wear resistance, it is a little bit more than the VG5, for example, but it's still fantastic steel. It takes really good. Otherwise, not many people would be using it. That's what I say. It's like,
Yeah, absolutely. VG10 is fantastic. Listen, Dean likes knives, and I live in the U.S.
Mhm.
Can't visit you in person, and just wanted to say I love the YouTube presence, fellas.
Hey, buddy, thank you.
Kyle says, thanks, Naoto, for procuring natural stones for the garage sale. Big Naoto fan there.
Thank you.
Mighty Michu says, thanks for the great answers. Mount Everest says, what's your favorite pan for frying eggs in the morning?
This one. It's the Prince Kyogo is the company. This is a carbon steel frying pan. You need to season it. You also should probably only cook eggs in it. Don't somehow cook tomato sauce in it one day. Fry meat in it, cook bacon. Keep that seasoning without anything acidic. But this is a Japanese Tamago Pan, which is, egg pan. But really it's for making a Japanese omelet. Now, I have one of these pans, and I can tell you something. You can cook all kinds of eggs in it. Fried or not. Scrambled as in I screwed up my omelet. All kinds. But it's got this great little angle to slip it out of the pan and onto your plate. It's really quite perfect. And it's thinner on the side than it is on the bottom. So it's going to have really nice heat distribution. I believe these are also hand hammered, aren't they? Or no?
These are pressed.
Pressed.
Pocket knife, back to VG10.
but listen
Pocket
to
knife guys always rave about Spyderco knives. Those are VG10.
A lot of them are VG10, yes.
Todd Lawrence says, what's the difference between a Kurisuke from a bunka?
Oh.
Now, there's the fast answer, and then there's the nerd answer, and I think we should give both of them.
So that's the big guy.
And then after that, Paul Morstad, you said, which one is that? I'm sorry, I don't know which one you're talking about. Give me some more information, and I'll let you. Give me some more information, Paul Morstad, and I'll let you know which one that is.
Kiritsuke and Bunka, fast answer. Bunka usually comes in the one side, so it's 165 mil or 180. Anything bigger, it's going to be Kiritsuke. Nerd answer, it's the origin is different.
It's a totally different knife.
Totally different knife.
It's not a double bevel.
So Bunka, this shape, Bunka in Japanese, the literal translation is culture. When Japan lost the Second World War, anything came from the Western world, we decided to put the cultured on it. So we do have a Bunka residence. It's the Western style apartment we call it the bunka jutaku or the bunka residence. So anything Western, we put the bunka on it.
Oh,
Before that, we had a nakiri. That was the most common shape used in the kitchen. Nakiri is on tip like this, right? So when the knife makers and manufacturers decided let's westernize or modernize, they decided to make a hybrid of the Gyuto and nakiri. Decided to cut the tip off, right? So that was the easy way to cut the tip off, making it so-called bunka bocho or bunka shape. In Japan, here's the very interesting thing. Some regions and some people call santoku bunka as well. So there are actually, these two terms are interchangeable. The bunka bocho or the bunka knife is the multi-purpose knife that was evolved or came around 70 years ago, and as a multi-purpose knife. I have this. I don't know if this is up on the YouTube yet. It's coming on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't film this kind of lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
it's not up yet.
The Japanese knife shape history.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It is.
Yeah,
So
What is? I didn't
check
know.
out our YouTube channel. We have the
And our Instagram.
Kiritsuke, on the other hand, traditionally is single bevel. This single bevel. It was a hybrid between the Yanagiba to slice sashimi with, and Kiritsuke has a little bit of height, so that can chop the vegetables. So hybrid between Usuba and the Yanagiba. And the Kiritsuke, the shape or the term is called, it's Kiritsuke from the verb called kiritsukeru, or to cut into. So that's why it's got the little like tip to it. So that's the totally different history and evolution, I guess, of the knife shape.
Also,
And what was the
I understand that Masaki knives are hollow ground. When the knife is thinned, will it become a flat ground profile? And will that affect the performance?
Some knife makers do it unintentionally, do it very unintentionally. But I see your point. It has tiny bit, because what they use is this big giant wheel to grind up the bevel. When they do this, they can get that the bevel a little bit concave. There are little low spots and high spots. You could, and I've done a few, but I've done it quite a bit, but you could definitely make it the straighter or even a little bit more convex bevel as you sharpen them. So it's but yes, there are a few knives that has a tiny bit of we call it equable, or the little caved in part. And that happens in even
Over
one of the
time,
nicest.
it would become
Yeah.
flat.
Even one of the nicest knives, there are. It's really like even one of those looks super flatter knives. Sakai knives do have a little bit of that too. It's very difficult to get them all perfect unless they.
Yeah, that's good.
But that's why when you sharpen it, you use finger stone, so you finish off
Yeah.
so it all looks nice and even.
Sakai all uses the little finger stones or
You still have a bag there?
Oh,
the
A bag of
that's
finger
actually a good
stones.
question. Somebody wanted to ask about Sakaiul Ginsan. Is there any left?
Yeah.
So if you talk about that, I'll go get your
petty for a
finger
second.
we
stones.
have all the
They
Sakai.
want to talk about the petty, I think they asked.
Yeah, we should have all the Sakai knives. Ginsan, it's really nice, thinly ground though. It's
I love the shape of the tip on those too. It's so cool looking.
yeah. If I were to grab one, I'm gonna grab a whole knife.
I might get that Ginsan petty because I don't actually own a petty knife, believe it or not. I've just always bought big knives,
Yeah.
so I need a small knife. That's like a big small knife. It's perfect.
Any questions that we missed?
I saw something about VG10.
Yeah.
Did we go over that already?
Someone wants to know about finger stones.
Yeah.
So I'm collecting some stuff. Where's the finger stones over here?
It's all done. It's all.
Favorite pan to fry eggs in the morning?
It's all sold.
Prince Kogyo
Bummer.
carbon steel wok.
I just showed him the egg pan for that job.
Well, I mean, if you're doing Japanese style eggs, yes.
But you can also put regular eggs in that pan too.
You totally could. You could put two in, and then they'd be sandwich shaped.
I've done it.
If you want to make an egg sandwich, that would do
It
a
fits
good
on
job.
your toast better when they're square.
I like the weird, the
Of
square.
course you do.
With a
'cause
round
you're
egg.
weird.
But carbon steel,
this is
especially if you want to get
natural
like a
question.
crispy egg.
Okay, Garrett, I'm gonna wait for Naoto to come back to answer your question.
Yeah,
about
give me some
stickers.
low balls. Give me some easy
I'm gonna
questions.
throw you a low ball. What would be the best for slicing big cuts of meat with no bone?
Big cuts of meat with no bone, raw or cooked.
Raw or cooked, yeah. And I mean, big cuts of meat. Are we talking like portioning into steak?
Yeah, regardless, I mean, if you want nice thin
No.
cuts
Mhm.
or you want to slice up a roast, this is a style of Yanagiba, which is a single bevel Japanese knife. This guy you could also
Strange,
use to make sashimi. I find when I use sliced cooked meat,
Oftentimes.
I want
But they
a double bevel knife and I want a very thin knife. So I would go for one of these Kurosaki Tsujihikus. Really nice and thin, really hard steel, and because you're not slicing meat every day, this guy's gonna stay sharp forever.
It'd be like putting a warrant on it.
We've got a fun question
Cooked.
here. It's
You
an
said
interesting
cooked.
one.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm looking for the one
some
with
knives
sticker.
have a sticker on the handle. What's the
these.
purpose of this sticker?
Like this. This one here is the this particular one is Sakai Kikumori. Sometimes this one says the this upper part says the water buffalo horn.
This also has a sticker?
This one here, Moritaka-san puts the sticker with what type of steel that they are made out of, and they also have the patent number of the. They actually this tang is stainless steel and it's been welded, and they have a patent for that. For example, Fujiwara-san always has a little bit of sticker.
Meat, no bone, Nathan.
It's called Hizukuri, which means the hand forged. And also there is another stickers like some
There's some
from
more
Sakai
attachments over there too.
has that the Japanese or Chinese character on them says traditional craftsman. So there are a few things that represents, and if you see them, we kind of be able to tell, but it kind of varies, right?
One more knife for Mighty Michu. When I think about slicing cooked meat, I think about carving like a Sunday roast or Thanksgiving or Christmas turkey. And so it's kind of a momentous occasion and you want to show off a little bit. So I think something with like a desert ironwood handle, Damascus blade. I mean, Saji knives, they're like the knife that every dad needs to carve at the head of the table. This is like prime holiday carving knife. So that's the guy that I would use.
Okay, now we have another question. Very much like what we were talking about. How about one that is on bone? Meat with a bone. I think the answer is a boning knife to get the bones off the meat, and then you cut it.
This guy, currently there's one in the world. There will be more, but this is the Musashi Shiroshu Hanasuki, and they sent us this as a sample just to see what the shape would look like. He's going to be making us some, but right now this is the only one in the world that exists. We had a koi Hanasuki, and somebody bought it on Monday, I believe. And so we have this guy. Hanasukis are nice because they have a nice thick blade. Japanese steel, as you know, shouldn't be used around bone, but this guy is quite thick, so it's going to be safer to work around those tougher bones. And really kind of a short bevel there, which is going to give it more durability. I like the Hanasuki in general as a shape because the back half, you can use a little more roughly cutting through cartilage and small bones. The tip is going to be a little more like a scalpel for really precise cuts. What's the knife you just showed at the special occasion meat cutter? That is the Saji R2 Damascus 270 millimeter Tsujihiki. Saji is spelled S-A-J-I.
Yeah, Brian, just wait. Next week we have a video. I think maybe when's that video coming out?
That's going to go out Friday because it's for American Thanksgiving.
Right, Friday we have a video that's coming out. Brian Kirk has just mentioned that he finds it with turkey, it's better to cut the meat off the bone and then slice it into medallions. Nathan and I did some videos the other day of carving, and those are going to be posted tomorrow. We showed both methods.
Mm-hmm.
One, which is the standing proudly at the head of the table, carving a whole bird.
Yeah, the Norman Rockwell.
But I'll give you the spoiler. The trick is you take the wishbone out before you cook the turkey.
With a Hanasuki. You just go in at the top. You can even do it after you cook it, but it's difficult when the turkey's super hot. So you go in kind of at the top, like where this would be, where the collarbone would be on a person, and you just basically cut along the bone, you yank it out, and then when you're slicing off the breast, it doesn't get in the way.
So Jean-Luc Martin has asked, he notices some carbon knives have the same or lower Rockwell hardness as some powder stainless. Is there a reason to buy carbon and deal with the rust if it's not harder than stainless?
The hardness, and you can't just rely on the hardness for the only retention either. When you actually talk to some of the people, carbon steel or the white carbon steel often feels like it holds the edge a little bit longer than a stainless because it's rust, because it oxidizes. As it oxidizes, it actually will create very, very micro chips. That's what I heard from the Musashi Fujiwara-san, my sharpening guru back in Japan. He was like, you know why the carbon steel keeps it? Because it's rust. Because of the water from even if you keep drying all the time, there's a little bit of chloride in the water and stuff like that. That will create tiny chips that will keep the edge a little bit longer. Also,
Like both tiny ulcerations.
tiny bit, right?
Yeah.
Also, although the stainless steel does have the carbide.
Yeah, I've heard that argument about straight razors.
But there's like arguments about that. So the carbon steel, biggest thing about carbon steel is that it takes the much smoother edge a little bit easier. That's probably my.
You know what?
I think the reason is that it's easier to sharpen. And I find also carbon steel tends to be less expensive.
Do you know why I like carbon steel? It's because I like records and cast iron pans and
Sure,
shit that's not objectively better.
Whoa, what's your language?
Stuff, sir. You can have an audio file, like a computer file, not like an audio file, but you can have a file that sounds objectively better than a record, a vinyl record. But it's way less fun and satisfying than just listening to something on Spotify or than playing a record, right? Like I like the whole act of breaking out the records and picking out which one I want and putting it on the turntable. I like polishing my own shoes and doing little things like that. So if you're into that kind of stuff, you're gonna love carbon steel.
Also, like arguably, the carbon steel is the reflection of the craftsmanship of the blacksmith, and the high-speed powder steels are great steel, but it doesn't really change its characteristics or
Like they can't leave a fingerprint, like not a literal fingerprint,
Yeah,
but like
exactly.
they can't leave their DNA.
Exactly. It's like they can, sharpen them in a way that the blacksmith likes and stuff like that. But it's very difficult to make it so distinctive from one blacksmith to another, where the carbon steels are a little bit more like unique in that way.
We need a really nice knife to show Corbin what would be the best to cut raw beef flank into really thin slices. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the Musashi Yanagiba, right?
I think that Sakai Ul Ginsen too.
That too.
Because that does have almost a bit of a hollow grind.
Yeah, so the single bevels are great for the like flank steak, as well as this old Sakai, super thin.
Brian Crook's got a great point and says that's why you just buy both stainless steel and carbon steel. I have both. I have a couple smaller knives that are stainless steel because when I want to make lunch and get back to work or like just go to bed because I'm tired, I'm going to use stainless steel so I don't have to clean it. I'm going to use carbon steel when I want to like really get into cooking and like get into the process a lot.
Yeah, I find things like petty knives and stuff, I'm typically getting into a stainless knife, but yeah, and I also have one of each.
If I'm slicing up raw meat really thin, I like a thin double bevel knife, just because that's what I learned to use, and that's what's more natural to me. I think single bevels are probably objectively better. I'm not very good at using them, and so this for me is super easy to make. Like what's the stuff called jerky? I make jerky at home sometimes, and a nice cold beef roast that you can slice up with the sujihiki.
John Mays made a good point that when you're looking at carbon steel versus stainless, when you're dealing with things like meat that have a lower acidity, sometimes that carbon steel is a little friendlier. When you're cutting tomatoes and onions that help the steel oxidize, sometimes it's not about your preference. It also can be what you're cutting, right?
Totally. Yeah, if you're gonna chop up like 20 onions for soup, or even not soup, you know, if you're just gonna cut something really acidic, you might not want a carbon steel knife because the carbon steel can oxidize the vegetable. And so especially if you're doing, I don't know, say you're doing like a nice seafood tartare and you want to have some shallot in it. If you cut up those shallots with carbon steel, they'll turn color, and you're not going to have like a nice fresh looking shallot color. It's going to be kind of black. And so if you're doing a presentation, you have like a raw preparation of something acidic.
Yeah,
Definitely
the
don't want stainless
oxidizing
steel.
transfers to the food as well sometimes.
Yeah, that's what I was explaining.
Okay, so we got a couple quick questions here. A left-handed Yanagiba, any interesting Deba, any R2, not too expensive.
Okay, let's go one at a time here.
So the left-handed Yanagiba, we do carry them. It's not the necessarily the garage sale. We do carry them at the kind of regular basis. Oftentimes, left-handed Yanagiba or the single bevels becomes very, very expensive. So we decided to have them a little bit like $243. It's pretty good steel, white number 3. It's easy to sharpen. It looks pretty good. These are available. Sakai Takayuki. Just put Sakai Takayuki left. You should be able to find these guys.
These are the Sasoka, right?
Yes. These are.
So any interesting Deba? Yeah, we have 2 Kurochi Debas from Akira Sasaoka. Kurochi is certainly less common on single bevel knives traditionally, but I think it looks rad. We got a 150 and a 165. If you got big, goofy hands like me, 165 is probably a good size. Your hands are a little smaller, 150. Both of these are going to be able to get into some big fish, like a big salmon. But you could probably also use them for something smaller, like if you're in Alberta, like some pike or something along those lines. So 150, 165, both awesome Debas.
We have the Sakai Kikumori Kiritsuke Deba. This one here is actually finished and sharpened by me. Last garage sale, we accidentally knocked the one tip off, and this was sitting there. And I've decided instead of just regular fix, I went for like full on what we call it the honbazuke sharpening. So I flatten the bevel, flatten the back. It's fully sharpened, but because it's touched and it broke off the tip first, it's 15% off from the regular price. It is still good, but full 151, but 531, and it's the 451. It's the only one of that.
California, yellowtail. How big is a yellowtail?
It could be like quite big.
I don't know. I think
Yeah.
I think yellowtail comes in a normal size bottle, doesn't it?
Tell Mike to shut up.
I'd say 165 would be a good size. You can get a 210 Deba, but they are very hefty, so they take some practice to get used to.
165, 180, like either or would be.
Yeah. I had a question about some R2 knives.
Hold on, I have a question. Did we address this where it says AJ says carbon steel gets sharper than stainless?
Yeah, we had a whole
Okay.
conversation about carbon
Sorry, I
steel.
went away from it.
No, it's all good. R2 steel. By the way, you can look up SG2 as well because they're more or less the same steel. These guys are both from Kobayashi-san. One of them has a custom handle. It's super cool. And the other one has the regular handle, which is also super cool.
And this is a Kobayashi R2 Migaki finish, not Damascus. I've just pulled this off the shelf. We don't have it out here. The price is less than the Damascus one. Do you remember now how much this one is?
I got it, Mike.
Chacho's got us here.
If you're going to cooking school and you want something basic, this is the Akagohan from Takamura. It's kind of like a German style handle, but there's not as much
Sentoku?
steel
Yeah.
in the handle, so it's not super duper heavy.
Usually 462.
Paper thin blade. This thing cuts like a laser. Amazing prep knife. 25 pounds. Okay, that's not a totally massive fish. So I think a 165 Deba, the one from Akira Sasaoka, I think that would rock.
Senko is
Oh, no,
actually
sorry.
pretty good price.
Oh yeah,
I didn't know it's
Totally
290.
wrong.
Can
Totally
I
wrong.
do?
yeah.
Totally
Some
wrong.
creative,
Totally
that's pretty good.
Kurosaki Senko is great. price.
Yeah.
Senko is great too.
And if you
How
like,
much is that?
if you like big knives,
Oh, $292 for a Kurosaki? Get it. Get the Kurosaki. Just get it.
or get the 240 because it's cooler.
Yeah, get the 240. If you want to set, get the Kurosaki.
If there's one,
Kurosaki is such a
Get this,
fantastic
get
black
that,
shirt.
get it.
Get it. Just get it.
Or that one. This black Damascus. Pretty cool.
Mm.
What else we got for questions? Keep it going,
Um,
folks.
Sorry, I'm trying to find a thing here.
Gyuto, 25 pounds.
Interesting Deba. Did we get there?
Yep.
I will definitely buy both. I plan on getting Fujiwara Denka once I figure out if I reach for my Nikiri or Denka more often. Any are two that are not too expensive. I'm looking to answer that.
Yeah, we got that one.
Venki, check out the Makoto Kurosaki knives, likely. Do we have any Makoto?
There's the BG10
We do.
With ebony handle. There's Ryusei Santoku.
They're talking amongst themselves now. They're selling each other knives, which is great.
Oh yeah, Brian is a very helpful listener and
I'm sure
attendee.
we have this. The price is not on there, but I'm sure we
Okay.
have some there.
Yeah, these Ryuseis are beautiful. I think they're really they're not
And this
they're
one.
not
This is a
overdressed.
good question. With semi-stainless or carbon,
That
does
feels
acidic
Oh,
food
that's
or onions get discolored with semi-stainless or carbon?
Nelson, you know about that?
Does
semi-stainless.
acidic food or onions get discolored with semi-stainless or carbon steel?
The carbon steel, if you cut the not acidity,
not the acidity.
not acidity, but the carbon steel, when I slice all the white onions and leave it on the cutting board,
Yeah.
it will turn a little bit.
And sometimes things like fennel or kohlrabi or cabbage or lettuce, celery, some of those things, the patina will transfer onto the food and the color will fade a bit. It's like if you take red peppers and yellow peppers and you saute them in a cast iron pan and you saute them in a stainless steel pan, the color fades on the peppers in the cast iron and stays nice and bright in the stainless. Same kind of thing. Like it'll change a little bit.
It changes a little
And
bit.
sometimes you can actually absorb a flavor into it. Like if you smell a carbon steel knife that's been used exclusively for slicing fish, it'll continue to smell like that for a while.
What about semi-stainless though?
So it's-
It depends, I think, but very, very little. I mean, I find like Algemy Super, which has got a bit of chromium, I never find that being a problem. Especially not once you get that patina built up.
Mostly like the white carbon and the blue carbon, like they're really kind
Well,
of
especially
Yeah.
like something like a Shimo
yeah.
Yeah.
Just-
Or a
or
Moritaka.
Moritaka is just a
Yeah.
piece
Well,
of-
and something to be aware of
Rusty
too is if you
thing.
spend a lot of time getting
I
your
love my
patina developed on your Shimo, and I think a patina is something that you earn, and you earn your patina on your knife by taking really good care of your knife as you use it. Always wiping it dry, not letting it get too dark or too rusty, but cutting with it, wiping it dry, and you develop that patina on your knife. And then if you say take that knife and cut a whole bunch of lemons, the lemon will remove the patina and you need to start over again. So as you develop the patina, less of that oxidation will transfer or even just happen, but it can rehappen after it gets sharpened or
Yes.
chemically removed.
Do we have any Yuki Nikiri Sayas in stock?
Nope.
Or when will we? Justin is desperate. He's asked me twice in a row. He's so desperate. He's crying. And I get it.
We just got the Santoku and Gyuto Saiyan, Gyuto Tuzen Saiyan. The last time I checked was a couple weeks ago with the maker, and they're working towards the title.
Okay, Justin, the answer is we're trying but failing.
Yeah.
We're trying to get them as fast as we can, but we're failing. There's a lively talk.
Look at that.
There's a lively talk about Western versus. Oh, here. Show this first.
Okay, this
Show
is a
first,
210
that's-
millimeter
That's our
Musashi.
man- That's our man Paul, who's been very patient
Paul.
with us on Facebook. Paul Morstad.
So Nishiji finish, which gives you this beautiful texture that makes the knife non-stick. But also it's Musashi, so it's like mirror polished because that's like he's obsessed with that. Beautiful D-shaped handle. Ho wood, magnolia is the wood with a paca wood. Oh no, this is a ox horn ferrule. Beautiful knife, man. His dimensions are neat. Like it's almost like a sort of an equal triangle. Nice. Here, I'll give you a little profile shot. So brings the heel up a little bit at the back. Super nice. Do you want the choil shot? Everyone needs their choil shot, right?
Just think that sounds so dirty.
There you go.
Listen, there's still a lot more questions. A lot of questions. A lot of talk about carbon steel knives and using them. For example, does the patina get affected when you put camellia oil on it? Does that slow the patina development, or does it hurt it somehow? Also, does this mean we should avoid cutting any citrus with carbon steel, or just large amounts of citrus? So please go.
If you do cut large amounts of citrus, it will remove your patina, and then you'll have to build it back up again. But it's up to, that's your choice. I mean, it's not going to hurt the knife. It just means you'll have to see it react a little bit quicker. If you're trying to hold your patina to its highest level, then maybe use a stainless knife for that.
It's sort of like cast iron pan. Like if you add tomatoes to something, it's going to strip off some of your seasoning.
Well, that's why I have a cast iron pan I do that stuff with. And that's why I have a stainless knife and a carbon steel knife.
But just one of each, right?
Sure. One of each in every shape and every size.
Yeah.
That's the amount of knives you need.
Right?
If you're an at-home cook, you're probably going to have a collection of knives, and you're going to have a magnet block right there, and you can just reach for a stainless one when you need to cut a bunch of citrus. But if you're a professional in the kitchen, you're probably not going to be as worried about keeping your patina super pristine, because you're just going to be constantly washing your knife, wiping it down, honing it, sharpening it every month. Like, that's not as big of a deal anyways. And I know when I was in kitchens, I didn't fuss about that stuff as much. Now that I'm a soft home cook, I'm pretty fussy about stuff. And so I just use my stainless knives for cutting citrus.
Yeah, it's easier.
Well, I think the comment about the camellia oil, I think camellia oil is great for putting on your knife if you're not going to be using it for a while, or if you live somewhere very humid and there's just moisture in the air that's going to sit on your knife. That can help build a protective layer on the outside to keep any of that oxidizing happening. If you're thinking like, does it work like seasoning a pan? I don't think so, because you would, I think, need to heat the knife to make the oil season the blade. And that's a really, really, really bad idea. Don't ever heat your knife up.
Yeah. And in theory, if you oil your knife, you're going to be, washing it and wiping it frequently. So unless you're oiling it every time you put it away, which you can do. Again, if you live in a humid place, do it. But if you live in the desert of Alberta like we do,
hardly ever need it.
Yeah.
Well, another comment actually about it is, don't be precious with your knife and think, well, I'm not going to use the carbon steel knife because I don't want it to do this. Just use it. Use it, use it, use it. The more you use it, the more your patina builds up, the less reactive it is.
Yeah, that's just the best way to get it.
Just lean into it. Don't be scared of it. Just go after it. And if you do see a little bit of orange on it, you can just scrub it off. You can mix baking soda and water in a paste and rub a cork. Instead, you can use your finger, but a cork's a little safer, a little more even pressure, and that'll pull the rust off. It's really fine abrasive.
My Moritaka gets rusty all the time.
Like my Shimo does not anymore. After 10 years, my Shimo's finally stopped reacting.
No kidding.
It will if I F it up.
Well, and the other thing is you're going to sharpen your knife. And when you sharpen a lot of Japanese knives, you're actually grinding off this whole bevel and building a new one. So if you have a beautiful patina, if you want it to cut like it did when it was brand new, or even better, you're going to need to thin it out and grind off the patina. So, just pay attention to building a good one as you're using it. But it's kind of impermanent. It's kind of zen in that sense. It comes and it goes, and it gets washed away, and then it build it back up again.
I like Brian Crook. He calls it like he sees it. Hey. Thanks, Brian. Well, you are not wrong.
Don Penny says, what I'm hearing is that I need at least 2 of each shape. Don, obviously.
Obviously, Don. Also, guys,
sorry.
there might be something like Kevin gives us a really generous staff discount. And I don't know. I maxed out my first credit card buying knives at kitchen stores in Paris when I was 19. So I may have...
You found the right job.
I have been on this road for a really long time.
I have to correct Don Penny real quick. You need 4 of each shape.
Oh,
because
wow.
yes, you need one that's stainless and one that's carbon steel, but then you also need Western handle and Japanese handle.
Well, then you need semi-stainless.
Yeah. Oh, and then and stainless clad carbon
if you only
and
need,
straight carbon.
If you only need 4 240 Gyutos, I've done this wrong.
What in God's
We're
name?
just losing our minds over how thin this 240
Where's the
is.
caliper? It's right behind you on the box right there.
We got in trouble about this caliper.
The Yoshimi Kato.
Really?
we measured somebody's knife with a ruler, not calipers. So now they're convinced we set them the wrong
How many
way.
knives do you purchase working at Knifewear? Well, I've got the lowest answer. I think I've only bought about kitchen knives. I bought about 10. I've also bought about 10 hunting knives and about 6 or 7 axes
Adam's up to 17 axes.
and 3 straight razors. So
listen,
do those all count as knives? Because then the answer is
after
40.
you guys tell us about this knife, there's actually quite a lively discussion that we want to get into about Western handles versus Japanese handles, and with a special sidebar about Fujiwara's knives.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you the answer. This is a Kumo, one of the thinner knives that we get. It came in at 2.4 millimeters thick. This, which is the Yoshimi Kato Black Damascus SG2, is showing up at 1.3 millimeters thick. Do not smash a clove of garlic with this knife. That would be a sad thing to
You'll
do.
have a banana.
Oh, you'll just have a bent.
Oh, it just might snap
You'll
at the
have a
tang.
banana.
But that thing, if you wanted to sliver
Do
anything,
you know what? When people talk about, I want a laser knife.
this is a laser.
That's the
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
That is making Takeda blush. That one.
And it's even straight, which is incredible. That pin.
Yeah.
There
So,
you go. Wow, that's phenomenal.
Japanese handles, Western handles, and Fujiwara handles.
Damon says, I've heard that stainless steel will absorb onion sulfur smell from your hands.
Interesting
Is
comment.
this
Yeah.
detrimental to the steel over the lifetime of the use? Because sulfur is an impurity in knife steel.
Wow, I don't think you would be able to make the steel absorb it in the way that it would
You would
fix
need to
itself
forge it.
into the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd need to heat it up to 1,000 degrees to get that sulfur to stick in. But yeah, it does stick on the side of it. I don't think it's going to damage the integrity of the knife. And I'm also professionally trained as a cook. I'm not qualified to answer any type of real
What?
science questions
Okay,
like that. That's a really cool question. Next time I meet the guy who's got the PhD in steel, I am absolutely asking
Well,
him that.
also, there was another sidebar to that about magnetic. Not because I've heard that if you stick your knife on a magnet,
Yeah,
it gets
it
magnetized.
does, yes.
Yeah.
And I know that somebody told me that was really bad once.
Well, and it's like the same if you run your knife over a steel rod, it will become magnetized too, right?
Yeah.
I think it's bad the closer you get to the North Pole. It's more magnetic out there, and sometimes it will.
The magnetization is not going to affect the crystal structure of the steel, and that's what's causing that's what allows the steel to perform the way it does. So I wouldn't be worried. But the other thing about Japanese knives is they're made in 3 pieces. So almost all Japanese knives are made from 3 pieces of steel. There's 2 soft ones on the outside, and there's 1 soft one on the hard one on the inside. And so it's got a protective layer on either side of the knife. And even if sulfur was an issue, I think that would protect the blade. Do we want to talk about Japanese and Western handles?
Let's talk about Japanese versus Western handles, and specifically with a sidebar about Fujiwara.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you what, I prefer Japanese handles,
Me
but
too.
I prefer Fujiwara's knives to the Western handle.
Me too. Yeah. Japanese handles, they're super cool. They have a skinny little tang of steel that sticks into a piece of wood like this. They, I think, were designed out of necessity originally because you could remove the handle and keep the whole tang dry so that it's not rusting in the handle.
Yeah, you can fix the rust and put it back together.
These days, they usually have a stainless tang that's welded onto the blade.
Not usually.
And so it's not a concern for most knives.
Takeda and Moritaka.
Okay, except for
That's it.
Takeda and
No,
Moritaka.
they're the only ones that have
They
a
are the
carbon
only
blade
that do that.
weld
stainless
stainless,
steel.
Okay,
yeah.
okay, cool. But regardless, like I don't think you need to worry too much about the tang rusting in there unless you're getting a lot of water in your knife. I like Japanese handles because it focuses the weight in the blade, and so it allows the knife to feel like it's doing more of the work for you. And I really like that. I personally, most of the time, don't love a really heavy handle. Some people do because it gives them that feeling of confidence. But I am super lazy, and so anything that lets the knife do more of the work for me, I'm a fan of. What about you?
Yeah, I like Japanese handles on pretty much everything except for petties, because I find in a petty knife that I like having the density, the weight to be the counterweight, right? So if you have a Japanese handle, you need a much bigger handle, and I feel sometimes like it's kind of clunky, in my hand. Whereas I feel like when I've got a Japanese knife, the Sugimori petty knives to me are hands down the most amazing petty knives. They're not here in the garage sale. That's regular inventory. The handles are so slight on them. I just feel like I'm using a much more finessed kind of a tool when I'm holding them. I really love that handle. But I think, Damon's got the comment there that I think echoes what a lot of people have experienced is might have been hesitant at the beginning, but once you went with the Wa handle, you get used to it and you never go back. And I mean, my first Japanese knife was a Moritaka. I used it for about a month straight, and then I picked up my Wusthof, and I remember actually picking it up and going, ugh. Because I was like, wow, I can't believe I spent so much time wielding this monster around.
Well, a comment we get a lot from folks that have never held a knife with a Japanese handle is they worry about the durability of it. But when it comes down to it, these riveted handles are super cool. But unless you're surviving a zombie apocalypse with your kitchen knife, this is over-engineered, and this is as durable as a knife handle ever needs to be.
Yeah, but the other thing too is you can if you damage that handle, you have to
You
have
can
some
try to
serious
find
skills
somebody
to
to fix
Yeah,
it.
you gotta get
but
some
if you
tools to
damage,
fix it
like
for
if
sure.
you can change your Japanese handles and get something
I,
custom. I do it all the
I
time.
won't say how many customers I've had that have come in because they came home and their dog was walking around like a pirate with a knife in its mouth,
How
chewing
I
on the
don't
knife
understand.
handle.
How do the dog's neck get hurt?
Because dogs are
I
smarter
don't
than
know.
you think.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But they somehow leave their knife where the dog can get it, and the dog gnaws on the
Because
handle.
humans are not
The
smart,
dog is
right?
always fine in the story. We've never had a customer's dog get hurt because of the knife, but the handle gets just wrecked. And so we can slap a new handle on one of these super easily. We can knock this one right off and put a new handle on, and it can take as little as an hour.
You guys must be maniacs. I've never damaged a handle on a knife. That's why we love
No,
having
me
you guys
neither.
come to the store and you can pick it up and hold it. Not always can you get to the store. We're happy to try and help you figure that out.
So I was saying earlier about how I don't love Western handles because I just don't like having as much weight in my hand. But these Fujiwara knives are so perfectly balanced because they let you sneak up and grab the knife a little further up. And to me, that just feels perfect. It's like the perfect spot to grab a knife.
Yeah, it's super
And
sensible.
that's I don't know. That's really the main reason I love my Denka handle.
The Fujiwaras.
Stop
the
giving me
Fujiwaras
Denkas
with-
to hold. They're so perfect. It makes me want to they feel so good.
Yeah.
I listen. You know, I have.
He's
got
a
few-
magician.
You know, I've
He's
got
a magician.
Few,
Hey,
you know, I've got a few Denkas and a few Mabroshis from Moritaka.
Yeah.
Or from
Fujiwara.
Fujiwara. And I have that one Denka Nikiri that I ordered with a Japanese handle. Don't like it.
Oh no.
I don't like how his Japanese handles feel. I like how his
No, me neither.
I like how his Western handles feel better.
I like how the Japanese
balance is
handles
better.
look, and then I grab one and I'm like, no.
Isn't that a funny thing? That's
Yeah.
weird, huh?
And to me, feel of a knife is honestly more important than it looks. All my knives are super pretty.
Yeah, me too. Except for when I want one that looks good too.
Mighty
Instead of how it
Mighty
feels.
like
Michi,
this one, Kevin? Like this one? Like that one?
Mighty Michi, you're not too far off the point there, my friend Danielle. I'm sorry we cannot show you your knife. It is already in the mail on the way to you. And we might have had more than one, but I think it might have been less than 5.
Yeah.
So you scored, my friend, and got a beautiful knife, and B, something that's pretty rare. So
the team in our warehouse deserves beer tomorrow or something because they killed it. We got a lot of you folks buying awesome knives, and they managed to get them out the door.
they
pretty quick.
hustled. They're smart. They're good at their job, and they hustled. And you know what?
Yeah.
I think they even had fun while they did it.
Yeah.
Well, I made them drink champagne. Well, one of them.
That's true.
I made
Yeah,
her drink
on Monday.
champagne until she blushed.
Right.
Well, because we were all being crazy, and I think she was just very scared of crazy people.
We're pretty scary.
How
and
rigid
crazy.
is that Kato SG2 Damascus?
Not.
Because John May says, the thing I like about my,
I can wiggle it like
Kotetsu.
this.
he says, I love my Kotetsu because it's
Yeah.
so rigid. And he goes, well, actually, that's just one of the things I like about the Kotetsu. The things I really like about my Kotetsu is everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know that thing you can do with a pencil where it looks like it's wobbling like that? This knife will just do that. So if you're going to be super abusive to it, don't get this
oh,
knife.
that'd be the wrong knife.
If you want a knife to like very delicately slice, like I like thinly slicing, meat and fish and stuff, but I'm terrible at using single bevel knives. So this would be the knife I'd do it with.
Ryan Crook does not want you to sell him a knife, but he says that Saji Ironwood is damn tempting.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want you to sell him a knife.
This slicer, right? The one we were talking about for special occasion meat carving.
Yeah, just any of them. Those
Mm.
all the handles are great,
Yeah.
and the shape. You can show them like the whole shape and the.
Well, yeah, they do
profile
something.
from every
I don't know.
part
The
of
way
it.
it kind of comes up to the tip there is just really
I mean,
cool
the
looking.
handle.
Oh well, yeah. It's very similar to the Zero, which I have.
You hadn't grabbed a Sugimori, had you?
I just, look how shiny that handle is. Like it looks like we put Vaseline on this, but I swear we didn't. It's
Jean-Luc
so
Martin
shiny.
says, "I'm looking forward to holding Denkas with both kinds of handles. Sometimes we have Wa handles, mostly we have Western because
Yeah.
we
Occasionally
basically, as
for
a
the garage
group-
sale, that's about it.
Well, we had some coming for this garage sale, but they didn't arrive yet.
Oh, we did.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're not here yet.
good
We
to
had
know.
some arriving at the next garage sale. It also didn't arrive.
Yeah, sometimes stuff doesn't show up for the garage sale in time, so just look for it later.
And J Rowe. Now I'm interested in this J Rowe because J Rowe is my buddy I ride bikes with all the
Oh.
time, except he spells J and Rowe differently.
So,
so J
not-
Rowe, not the guy I ride bikes with, says, just tracking back, what's the brand of petty knife with the fine handles you were talking about a while ago?
That's the one.
So this is a Sugimori. Sugimori.
You can see the difference in the handles there.
And the handle is a linen micarta. So it's really, really rugged and durable. Beautiful. Look at this.
All right.
No, oh, they're so nice.
I
Cutting
love
with
the
these
handles
is so
on it.
nice.
Do you know what I like a small handle on also is a Yanagiba or a
Oh.
Sujihiki.
Mm.
I like a small handle on a slicer like this guy.
I think it makes the knife feel more precise.
This,
And it makes me approach the
this one has a
job with
much
more
skinnier
precision.
handle than Sujihikis usually do, and I can now see what Kevin means because a lot of big knives have kind of, even for my hands, kind of large handles. Yeah, I also really like this.
Jesus, look at
half
this
half octagon, half oval handle. What, I don't even know what to call it. It's awesome.
octagon.
Oh, the octagon.
The
Welcome to the
Like
octagon.
O for oval
Also-
and octagon, octagon.
Octagon.
Danielle says, "Go team!" Now I'm extra excited to welcome this knife to my collection.
Which
Didn't
one?
realize you had so few. The Makoto.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because there was just a couple of them.
Yeah, we like never get as nice.
How much for that Saji 210 SG2 Ironwood?
Gyuto? Yeah.
210 Gyuto SG2 Ironwood.
846 Canadian.
Small 846 Canadian dollars.
Do it.
But for you, 845 if you order. Right now, we'll give you $1 back.
There you
Yeah.
go. And free shipping.
And
And I'll even pay for the shipping. Good thinking.
like I was saying
And
earlier,
first sharpening's free.
That's so nice.
this guy's a little heavier on the spine, not a lot, just a tiny bit, but it's got a nice slender handle, so it's going to fit in your hand nice, but it's going to feel nice and slightly heavy, and it's going to be more of a beast than most R2 knives are.
You could use that knife all day for the rest of your life.
We'll just get this one.
Sean
Wow.
Coots, by the way, says that 100mm Sugimori Petty is unreal. Sean Coots is famous for making a 7-foot Santoku recently.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. I actually have pictures on my phone of that 7-foot Santoku that I haven't opened yet.
Jean-Luc Martin says, what can you recommend for a more rigid 240 powdered stainless steel with
Oh,
a
powder
raw
steel.
handle? Now, I'd say the Kotetsu 240,
Yeah.
which
Or
I'm going to
the,
look for one of them in here, but I don't think we have one.
or the Senko or the Shizuku. Well, that's not it. We don't have a 240 Shizuku yet.
This isn't like German knife rigid, but this guy is definitely thicker. Would you say that that other guy was 1.4 mils?
1.4, yeah. That's going to be.
Oh, I wish
2.5
Musashi
is
is powder steel, hey?
Ooh. Yeah.
No, I don't.
I know.
like his knives. I
I
don't
feel
wish
like he's doing exactly what he needs to be doing.
Yeah, he is. I wouldn't want someone to do.
And he's tried, right?
How do I use this dang old thing?
Yeah. You'll figure it out.
Oh,
Thanks, Mike.
how about that 240
Just push it.
Ironwood Saji? Is there one?
Oh, yeah, you just slide it.
That's
Yeah.
in inches. Why would you ever measure something in inches?
You press the inch button.
Here. Here is a rigid 240 powder steel knife.
Yeah. What did you
Oh,
go
yeah.
off looking for?
Kotetsu
Oh,
240.
2.14 millimeters, not bad. But yeah, rigid powder steel, like Kevin's saying, going back to the Saji R2, this thing feels like a German knife, like a Wusthof, but a million times better. It is real beefy, but it's still not obscenely heavy. It's 2¼ millimeters.
Okay.
Yeah, beauty. And again, handle's kind of slender. A lot of these beefy Western handle knives have really chunky handles. This one's actually nice. It's got a bit of height, but it's pretty skinny. So it fits in your hand real nice.
Real nice.
Real nice.
It's real nice.
Yeah. And it tapers off well. So even though it's thicker, the edge still doesn't feel chunky just because it has a really nice taper to it. I like it.
Okay.
Beautiful Sujihiki with a thin handle. Oh, Musashi Sujihiki. Musashi me.
Yeah, that's a thin handle.
Also, we need Mike.
Hi.
We need a Nikiri you can smash garlic with.
Oh, zero.
Or
A food scoop?
Zero.
don't smash garlic anymore.
Or a food scoop?
Oh, grab a food scoop.
Grab a
Mike.
food scoop, because that's what I smash garlic with
That's
now.
actually the best thing.
Where's that Magna Nikiri? Because that's what I smash garlic
It's
with.
right behind you.
That's not
Oh,
a
the
food-
Magna Nikiri.
the Magna Nikiri.
Oh, food scoop is a good one.
This is a Musashi 240 Shiroshu, sorry, 270 Sujihiki. And this guy's part of the sale, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 20% off.
20%.
Because we're overstocked.
We bought too many. So
That's when I was ordering things and I just got excited. And I ordered us a 4-year
you're
supply.
just making it rain with the
I
Musashi.
ordered us a 4-year supply of Masaki.
Nikiri to smash garlic with. This guy is relatively thick, or just use a food scoop. I am the kind of person that really loathes kitchen gadgets, except for this one, because you can scoop up your food and put it into other places. You can also smash thousands of cloves of garlic without it getting bent, and you can scrape out your oven.
Just get
It's
this.
amazing.
This is the Masakagi Zero Nikiri.
Oh yeah.
All of the knives that come through with the zeros are really nice and slender. The Nikiri's always a beast.
As it should be.
Oh, dude, this thing's amazing. It's taller than even the normal Masakagi Nikiri, which is tall already. Where's our gadgety
It's just a little big
Gadgety
beast
gadget.
here.
I also think there's a way to smash your garlic and a way to not smash it.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a sec.
So there's a place. Don't put your garlic clove here and put your knife on an angle and smash it. That's a great way to bend your knife. So for example, if you wanted to bend a knife, put the tip on a hard surface and then smash the middle of it, right?
Yeah.
So
that's how you get a very expensive banana.
I put my garlic closer to the heel of the knife, and I put it at the edge of my cutting board and I aim my knife up. So that way I'm not going to be flexing the blade at all.
I also
You
don't-
can't flex this zero Nikiri,
I don't
though.
smash it like I'm using the hammer of Thor. I just I put my knife on the cutting board. I put the heel of my palm on the knife and I just stand over it and I just let the weight of my body do the work.
Oh, that's
I have a gravitational advantage over Mike, but I'm sure you could do it too.
and you're just more romantic, I guess, with your garlic.
So
But
we've
yeah.
got some interesting
Treat it more
questions here.
tenderly.
How about some speedrun questions?
Yes.
Because this one is
Speedrun.
also
Speedrun.
explain what the garage sale is. Are any Kotetsu knife on sale for the garage sale?
No,
Okay,
sir.
The garage sale is the time of year historically where Kevin goes to Japan, buys up all kinds of weird and cool stuff from our blacksmiths, one of a kinds, new lines, folks that we've never carried their knives before, and some great clearance, some great sales. What we don't do is put regular stock on sale. These are knives that we don't normally get to sell, like this beautiful knife here, Yoshimi Kato, like some cool Debas from Akira Sasaoka. We do have a bit of limited stock on sale, 15 to 20% off. We got some Musashi overstock, some 240 Kiritsuke, some 270 Sujihikis. We've got some Mugen AS knives, some Gyutos, and Sujihikis. The Kotetsus are not on sale. They're also kind of tricky for us to get. So if you want a knife that's as thin and as razor sharp as a Kotetsu, but is maybe a different knife, we could help you find something.
Yep, that right there.
I was just going to say, this is thinner than a Kotetsu. This is a
That's the one.
SG2, so same steel as the Kotetsu. It's made by a blacksmith from the same area. Who forges the Kotetsu normally?
Ikeda.
Okay, Ikeda. So, buddy of Ikeda's, Yoshimi Kato.
Their hammers are right beside each other.
Yeah,
In the same
literally.
building.
Yeah.
Like, literally.
So it's made in the same place
10 feet
by
apart.
a friend of the guy that makes the Kotetsu. Same steel, but this guy is Damascus, and this, I swear to God, is thinner than a Kotetsu. This thing is I
Don't
don't
tell
know.
Shiba, but
Paper
I've
thin.
got that knife
Yeah.
myself. Like years ago, I got the prototype of that.
Oh.
It's sharp. I can get it sharper than my Kotetsu. Don't tell Shiba.
No, I won't. But I'm not surprised at all. This thing is this feels like a petty knife. Like it's so light because it's so thin.
What's the difference between Maboroshi and Denka?
Steel.
So here's a Denka.
So Fujiwara-san has 3 lines of knives. 2 of them look very similar. The difference is one of them has a black blade and it's made with super blue carbon steel. The other one has a polished blade and is made with white carbon steel.
Polish.
They're Polish. They're both clad in stainless steel, so only the edge can rust. The thing I like about the super blue stainless, it is a touch more resilient than white carbon, which I like because I'm kind of heavy-handed. It also stays sharp fair bit longer, and it doesn't rust as easily. White carbon rusts super easily. Algami
Chips
Super,
easily.
yeah, Algami Super doesn't chip as easily and doesn't rust nearly as easily. I've never managed to rust this knife, and I'm not always the best with it. Don't tell anyone.
John May wants to see this knife.
John May,
He said
how's your
that-
Hanasuki working,
He
man?
said that is the ironwood side he wanted to see, but it's not ironwood. It's isn't that a type
Oh.
of cedar?
Doesn't look like ironwood.
No, I think I called it ironwood on the live the other day, but I'm pretty sure Nelson told me it's cedar.
I think you're right. I think he said it is cedar.
John May says you should stop selling that food scoop because it really cuts down on your knife repair revenue. We should probably talk about our knife repair and sharpening. We don't do it to make money. We break even basically on
we
labor.
give half
just-
the money to charity.
We give half the money to charity, and we just do it to take care of you guys.
It seems
we
right.
don't actually
It
make
seems
money.
right to just service the things that we sell.
Yeah. But it's not really a moneymaker for us at all.
No.
It pays for our
No,
staff
it
to
means
do
that we can maintain
that's
our
about
products because there's really nobody else that does a good job of sharpening Japanese knives around our stores. So we decided we would offer the service. But yeah, half that money every year goes to local charities. So we donate anywhere from 100 to 150 grand a year to
This year's getting
local charities.
closer to 2.
This year's getting closer to 200 grand because a lot of people are cooking at home. Also, the last week of October, we had a fundraiser where we raised around
17 grand in a week.
Yeah, 17 grand in 1 week.
Yeah,
We
that
gave
was
all
great.
100% of sharpening proceeds to the local food banks because they need help. There's a lot of hungry Canadians right now, and 17 grand in 1 week.
And somebody's asked, what is this food scoop? What does it do? What are you talking about?
This is a food scoop.
Show the packaging. It's beautiful. Look at that. It's a food scoop.
His name is Foodie.
He's a scooper.
He's Scooper. I'll rip it if I pull it out. It's just a flat piece of metal, but it's got some walls on the side and a handle. And you use it to pick up the food off of your cutting board and move it into a frying pan or a mixing bowl. So a lot of us, and we sell these beautiful cutting boards made in the Eastern Canada called larch boards. They're great. They're so lovely to cut on. And getting a big cutting board makes life so much nicer. But it's not easy to pick it up and take it over to the pan and scoop the stuff off from the cutting board. So the food scoop is a great way to transport your food across the kitchen.
A lot of us are used to using knives to do that. There's a couple problems. First of all, these aren't super tall. The food scoop's way taller than the knife. You can cut your hand, as Kevin said he just did the other day.
My hand was really wet, so the skin was soft, and I just
So don't be a dumbass and do that. And and if there's another person cooking with you, like I cook with my spouse a fair bit, and I don't want to be moving stuff over to the stove and swing a knife around the kitchen because that's like the first thing you learn in restaurants is not to swing knives around. I also use it for other stuff because this is just a great tool and I like multi-purpose tools. So I've scraped up my oven with this thing and it did an amazing job. I'm not kidding. I live in an apartment, so my oven's naturally disgusting. I crush garlic with it because I don't want to bend my knives. I'm trying to find other uses. Like this thing is it's the do-it-all. Yeah. And apparently it holds up to 3 cups of food. It's dishwasher safe too.
It's Scarface approved.
You can do other things with it.
Jean-Luc, your question about it's so thin. Yeah, you know what? Get the knife, use it for a while, and you tell us what you think, and then you can call us, and we'll help you to find the next one.
damn.
And I have a Takamura Uchigumo that I use as my thin knife, and then I've got a Moritaka 240 Gyuto that I use as my bigger one. If I'm going to cut something and I think I'm not sure about this, or perhaps it's a someone, not just a something, but I look at someone who wants to help me cook and I think, they would like to use a knife. Not that one, not that
Yeah.
one, not that one, not that one.
I've told my
This
roommate
one,
which knives he's allowed
Not that
to
one,
use.
not that one, not that one. That one, but that's got my name on it. I'd be sad if they broke it. So, yeah. Sometimes it's good to have the 4x4 along with the Ferrari.
I work from home right now, and I had recently sharpened up my Denka, and I could hear somebody in the kitchen going, chop, chop, chop. And I could hear my Denka crying in pain, and I immediately came downstairs and said, hey, buddy, glad you're enjoying that knife. Use this one. Don't touch that one anymore.
Ever for your whole life.
You're a great roommate. But
Hands
don't
off
touch
knife.
my GD knives.
Listen, good news. Iceberg MoMA just pulled the trigger on the Musashi 210.
Hey.
Dang.
That one right in front of you. Hold it up, man.
Oh, yeah.
Because Iceberg MoMA's been looking for that knife now. He's been considering this since Monday.
You know what knife?
Oh,
So this is good news.
work.
This is
good
good
work.
news.
You know what? You can cut a lot of with this knife. Potatoes.
Oh, AJ.
And I bet you could cut a whole bunch of French fries with this knife.
Look at that. Audrey says, you guys, I agree on the garlic smashing technique. Looks like my grandma taught me well.
Oh,
Grandma's no shit.
your
Yeah.
grandma must have made good
Yeah.
food. She smashed cloves of garlic.
Or I use my cast iron pan.
Damon
too.
says,
Forgot a lot to
Damon,
do.
not Demon, as you like to call him. His name is Damon
How do you
Spector.
know?
Because I asked him the other day and he told me. He sent
Sorry,
us-
Demon.
He sent us, Damon. He sent us a pronunciation. He says, just smash the close of your hand, you wuss.
Yeah.
Those are too
Yeah,
precious.
just punch the cutting board.
I don't know what's wrong with you guys.
Chad says, can you compare? But he spelled it kind of like Prince. So I want you to sing a Prince song. Can you compare these three
Rain.
Gyutos? Musashi Shiroshu, Musashi Nishiji, or Sakai Kikamori Aogami Nishiji? What's the difference of height at the heel?
What size?
It doesn't say what size. So let's say 210.
210. All right.
I'll find a 210 Kiroshu.
I'm gonna speed answer some questions here. There's the three that are being compared.
What's the
Would you
Kikamori
ever do a
Aogami?
live session where you cut different food with different knives? Yes, only because you just said so. That's a fantastic idea. That's super great.
It's
We can
great,
get a
yeah.
whole bunch of food and a whole bunch of knives, and we can stand here and
And
we'll
cut
cut
shit.
stuff. And you'll say, "But what about this with that knife?" That'll be so much fun.
Oh my God.
Stay tuned.
Okay.
Is that the Kikamori Aogami? Right? The
Jean-Luc,
mystery blacksmith?
do you have
Yes.
handles outside of the garage sale? They really
Hold the
come
box
and
up.
go. We get them a
Box up.
couple times a year.
No, so I can see.
We'll probably
Top-
be
top
getting
of the box.
more
Let's
of
see top
them.
the box.
And AJ,
Yes.
you have
Right.
asked a question that I would love to say yes to. We do not sell custom sayas.
Sorry.
I've literally looked at getting CNC routers to solve this problem. Not for work, because I just want a CNC router, and it seems like a really good excuse for it.
To get me to buy one for you.
To get Kevin to buy me a CNC router that would fit perfectly in my garage, would take way too much space in the store. So obviously, my house is the best place to keep it.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see, hey?
Oh Jesus! Everybody dance now! Meh, meh, meh.
Okay, so we want to know about the height of three different knives. We have the Musashi Nishiji. It's just over 52 millimeters at the heel. We have the Musashi Shiroshu, which is just over 52 millimeters at the heel. Very consistent. More like 53, that one.
Yeah, that's real nice.
And then we have the beefy boy, and he is 61.
Yeah, that's a
61
that's a real
This thing's a effing monster.
Please buy it so I don't.
Yeah, no. Both of us want to buy this.
So
knife,
you're comparing Musashi Shiroshu, Musashi Nishiji, the Sakai Kukimori Aogami Nishiji. Height at the heel. There we
Yeah.
go, Chad. I
Yeah.
hope that's answered
So
your question.
53, and 61. Big difference. Okay. What we got
Okay.
next?
Live session with different food and different knives, Nathan. Put that in your book, buddy.
Well, we should do that soon. We should do that. I don't know. We can do that
Oh
later
boy,
this month.
we have lots more. Garlic grandma, first thing to do. French fries, yeah.
Who's buddy asking about the live stream?
This is that's Danielle Fairville.
So Danielle, what vegetables do you want to see us cutting? What kind of things do you want to know?
Email them to Nathan at Knifewear or Nathan at kentofinglewood.com.
Nathan at knifewear.com.
Oh,
That works.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
got two
Nathan
email
just took the cake for just best dad joke of the week. Yeah, you absolutely
Oh,
did.
thanks. You know, I'm getting ready to have kids, so I got to practice.
Well, Jean-Luc, I appreciate the comment that there's contradicting and you think ours are the best. I think ours are the best too. And we're going to do a bit more work. We've got some turkey videos coming out this week. Nathan and I did some cooking at my house, and we've got some carving, and we've got like the best looking scallop potatoes you've ever seen.
We got some great do and don't videos with this guy.
Yeah.
Both some knife skills, but also some just like horrific, like whatever the opposite of knife porn is. It's like knife snuff film. Like he just goes.
Nathan, whatever your name is.
Oh, knife
No,
cringe.
they're atrocious. They should be on the dark web. So you can watch those.
Oh boy. Right. Well, yeah. Odds of Saji Rainbow Damascus. Yeah, man, there is odds. That's there are good odds that we will get them, and those are the kind of thing that are always to be watched out for at the garage sale. Honestly, this is the first garage sale in memory that we did not have Rainbow Damascus. So yeah, the odds are high, quite high, that we will get them. I would say you're going to be looking at April, May. April, May is when we're going to be running garage sale again.
We usually do it May around the Victoria Day long weekend.
Yeah, right around Victoria long weekend or May long weekend here in Canada. Yes, our prices are in Canadian dollars, except for the internet knows where you are sometimes. And if you're ever on our website and you want to know what currency you're using,
Top right corner
of the website on a computer, like on a desktop computer, it's a little different. You got to go to the hamburger menu on your phone. But it'll tell you that if it knows your IP address and knows you're in the States, it'll show you US prices. Now it will I think it's changed. It used to check you out in Canadian prices. So all of a sudden the price goes boop, because that's how the transaction's going through. But it does convert it from Canadian to US dollars. They're good at doing this whole selling stuff, and they do the good job.
Yeah.
They do the good job, guys. Internet do good job.
Hone the Rat said, just got my Tsunahisa AUS 10 Damascus in the mail today. Very stoked.
Nice.
I'd like to hear how it's going. Hone the Rat. Go cut something and tell us what you think. Garlic mincing with grandma, truly a bonding event.
Yeah.
First thing I'll do with it. Oh, Iceberg Momus. The first thing she'll do, first thing he'll do with is he'll send French fries. So he'll make French fries and send the photo to Kevin.
Nice.
Next to Heston's book.
Oh.
He's harassing me.
Well, you love
because he
Heston's
deserves it.
French fries.
Because they're the best French fries in the world. But Lord and I were going to make French fries one day, and then we didn't. And then we haven't for a long time. But
Didn't
luckily,
you break Heston's Robo?
no, I broke
Moseman.
Anton
Moseman.
Moseman's Robo. And then ran out.
Oh, Don Penny, don't even ask, buddy. Do not ask what Rainbow Damascus is. Oh, man. It's also known as Mokume, M-O-K-U-M-E, where they, instead of putting nickel and steel to make the Damascus, they include layers of brass and copper. So when the lines show up in the steel, the Damascus, there's lines of different types of metal, being
like
brass and
gold,
copper.
kind of like a pinky kind of color. Yeah.
Yeah, you mean a
pretty
brassy kind of color and a coppery kind of color?
No.
Yeah, Jesus, this guy. All right,
Nathan,
where we got next?
Nathan, well, you guys just blew through a bunch there, but I think we can back up and find some other stuff.
Yeah, we should make sure.
Somebody, me. Do you guys know the story of this knife?
I do know this. So
Why don't you? I wanted to announce it to Naoto, but he ran off.
I was messaging
because Naoto is tired of working.
Should we
12
cover some of
hour
that stuff before?
Yeah.
The garage sale is going to run until Sunday.
Can I have some barley soup while I'm at it?
days. Okay, you guys do what you want. I'll stand here.
And we'll tell that.
Okay, so the garage sale is an event where we bring in all sorts of unusual knives from Japan. We get knives that we don't normally carry, from blacksmiths that we don't normally carry, knives from blacksmiths that we normally carry that we don't normally carry. We get one-of-a-kinds, scratch and dent, custom handles. Also just some killer deals, like a blacksmith maybe will have too much of something, and he'll say, help, and he'll give us a great deal, so we'll pass the deal on to you. It runs until November 22nd at midnight, so until the end of Sunday at midnight online. You have until 6 p.m. in store. It is running in our store this year, but we have more limited selection because we want to keep people safe and encourage them to shop online. Other than that, if you need a gift, it's a great time to buy. Thank you, Kevin. It's a great time to buy a gift. It's a great time to treat yourself to something nice or several something just
Treat
nice
yourself,
if you're a
love.
Don Penny. We have free shipping in North America over $200. We also have curbside pickup. So if the knife you're getting is stocked in one of our stores, you can pick it up curbside. If not, our shipping happens pretty quick. I think we get knives to the States in like a couple of days most of the time. If you are buying a knife, you should have a honing rod to keep your knife sharp. Ceramic honing rods are half price when you buy a knife, so buy them then rather than later. You can also grab blade guards to protect it, or we have brand new knife blocks from Stick and Boards. These guys are from Ottawa, I believe, and they make gorgeous display knife blocks. Biggest problem with knife blocks is you don't really get to see your pretty knives, and so this solves that problem. And it's also made with really beautiful walnut. These guys are cheap. They're like $125 for this guy. The big boy, which is the one I'm gonna get, is this guy's 11.5 inches inside, and
Mike?
it's $140, I think.
We've got a fun question, Mike, but you need to dig into the machine.
Beyond that, if you need
What
help
was the
finding a
first
Christmas gift,
Garage sale knife sold this time.
you can head to our website. We have a gift guide. We also have a video or several videos up on our YouTube
Just
channel
use this one
about how to buy gifts. So if you need to buy a knife as a gift, we have a video with Mr. Kevin there about how to choose a knife as a gift for somebody, how to buy a gift for a home cook, for a chef, for a foodie, anybody that loves knives that might be tough to buy for traditionally. So yeah, if you need help, let us know. We're going to continue to offer curbside services, both sharpening, drop off, and pick up for orders in all of our stores. So please take advantage of that if you're wanting to get your shipping done or your shopping done a little quicker and possibly from the comfort of your own home. Also, thanks everyone that's tuning in today. It's nice chatting with you all. Keep the questions coming. We're here, well, not all night, but we're here for a couple more hours at least. Keep the terrible dad jokes coming. This guy is a very special story, a nice little interlude. So our man Naoto, who was on earlier, he is kind of our master sharpener in the company. He does a lot of training and brings in a lot of the expert knowledge that makes us better. And he's got an Instagram account at Naoto KW. And on that page, he shares all of the terrible damaged knives that are really, really sad and broken, and how he repairs them, and talks about the process that he uses to repair them, and shows before and after pictures. Super, super cool. Great if you're looking for that kind of like satisfying, painful knife content, because it's really rewarding to see them get fixed up. But we had a wonderful customer who I believe is down in the US, and he got in an awful car accident recently. And he sent me some photos of his knife set, which just get rocked. Is this the one you're asking about, Jay? But his knife set basically flew around on the inside of his trunk in this car accident, and they got destroyed. Like one of them was bent like a banana. The handle on one of them was cracked right off. This guy was a Takeda Nikiri, so the blade was actually flat and came down like this, and it just got cracked right off of the heel and just completely wrecked. So if you go to Naoto's Instagram account, you can see what it looked like beforehand. But he actually had to snap off a piece of steel where it was cracked, and then he turned it into this really cool kind of rocking knife. Kind of looks like a Japanese lettuce harvesting knife, and it's pretty cool now. So yeah, head to his account, give him a follow, show him some love, and you'll see some pretty serious knife repairs. What do we got next, Mike?
Somebody has asked us, what was the first knife sold on the garage sale? And it's oddly enough, it's a guy named Trevor Snelling.
Oh, Trevor.
And Trevor's been watching us.
Hello,
And
Trevor.
he bought. And
Tsukasa Hinora.
Andrew Kurochi Tsuchimi Kobanka.
Oh, yeah, I remember answering questions about that on the
maybe
Friday.
he didn't get that knife.
no, he didn't get that knife.
No? All right.
So the first knife sold.
Mustache
was-
Combo 3000. I don't know what that means, but I like it.
Oh! Of course it
And
was.
Garrett, I don't know if Garrett's still here.
Garrett, are you watching still?
Shigefusa 270
Your
Gyuto.
Shigefusa 270 was the first knife sold at the
You
garage
are
sale.
a good man,
Wow.
Garrett.
Nicely
You're a
done,
good
Garrett.
man.
Yeah, Jay. So this is the knife I was talking about. And if you want one, just order a Takeda Nikiri and then get in a car accident, and we'll fix it for you and turn it into one of these.
That's the worst advice I've ever heard.
So he was asking about as well a bunka with a similar finish about an hour ago. This one, I think. the sort of mono handle. It's all one wood handle. Is that the one, Jay? I like this one because it's nice and heavy in the front. It's going to do a lot of the work for you. I've heard a lot about these kind of single wood handles recently, and I wasn't sure if I'd like them, but I think they're pretty cool.
Let me just read that again.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I read that right.
What is this knife? This is a Miyazaki Bunka. Miyazaki, spelled the same way as the animator, Miyazaki.
Okay.
Miyazaki, yeah. Really cool knife. Nice weight. Nice and thick on the spine.
Order desk could be very up to date.
Fairly flat profile, but a little bit of a rock if you're into that kind of thing. What brand is steel? Yeah, so Miyazaki is the maker. It's Algami, so it's blue carbon steel. Nice edge retention. It's going to be pretty rusty if you're not careful, but I really like Algami for its performance, for how sharp it gets.
Did we cover this? Is there a saya that fits the tall Sakai knife? Likely not.
Tall Sakai knife. Oh, this
Likely
guy?
not.
No.
What brand
Danielle
is steel? What
says,
were you just saying?
Danielle says we should have for our cutting class, we should have chickens,
Yep.
sashimi, shallots, peeling apples, some carving,
Cool.
maybe a food bank donations live stream a few weeks
Oh,
before
that's a
Christmas,
good idea.
focusing on carving and slicers. We might be busy a couple weeks before Christmas.
Yeah.
Having retail.
I heard
stores.
there's this holiday happening this year.
The 3 busiest weeks of the year are the 3 weeks before Christmas.
That was this one I walked through.
So Hole
Did
and
you
Rat
say
says
what
not
kind
a
of
lot of
steel?
time with the Tsunahisa yet. It was very light compared to his other daily driver. And cuts peppers like a dream. A bit of stickage on an onion.
Danielle, we will try to do a stream at some point where we do different cutting. I think we'll definitely do some sort of a knife skill stream at some point. I think doing it for charity is a great idea. Just don't know when exactly.
Mike and I. Well, the three of
Well,
us.
I was going to say, there's this whole COVID thing, and so we actually have a B team of people who aren't allowed to be in the stores right now, so that if anything happens, we can jump right into that store and keep helping folks in that city. So as long as nothing crazy happens, yeah, I think we might have a little bit of time on our hands to make a charity live stream.
So Hole and Rat says the shipping's super fast because he bought on Tuesday evening and received Thursday morning.
Wow, that's amazing.
In the Midwest U.S. and didn't even pay for 2-day shipping.
And
That's because it
great.
went DHL, and DHL's UPS and Canada Post are
Yeah.
stumbling.
But DHL's the biz.
well, and it wouldn't have shipped on Tuesday. It would have shipped Wednesday afternoon. So you basically got it in a day.
And Mount Everest says, I'd like to say the production quality of your videos has skyrocketed lately. So kudos to you for
Hey,
that.
Thanks, buddy.
That's because
Hey!
we happen to have one of our employees who went to film school.
We have a ringer.
His name's Jeevan. He is awesome. He makes us look good.
He's
Because God knows we try to make ourselves look terrible.
he's great. I love Jeter, man.
Yeah.
I would love to get him on video too because he's a super charming guy.
John May. He's got a serious question here. And I'm the only one that watches hockey, so you guys can't answer this.
We'll discuss other things
Ah.
amongst ourselves. for
Skatey
now.
punchy.
According
It's the
to
one
Kevin,
with the stick.
according to Kevin,
Yeah, the
Shibata
cross
San.
stick.
Shut up!
Okay, stick ball.
Okay, you have to answer this one, Mike, because you won't shut up. According to Kevin, Shibata-san is the Wayne Gretzky of knife sharpening. If so, what hockey player is Naoto?
The center.
Jerome McGinley.
No,
He plays for the Flames, right?
You guys suck.
Mark Messier.
Shut up.
Dana Merzer.
Wayne Gretzky.
Grant Vernon.
Nah, you know what? I think he's Ken Dryden because Ken Dryden was a really smart guy and ended up after he left hockey, became a lawyer, went to law school.
That is something Naoto would do.
So I think Naoto's the Ken Dryden of hockey of Japanese knives. I mean,
He does have a degree in international relations.
yes. And every now and again we let him speak Japanese, so that's kind of us.
I'm shopping right now.
What are you shopping for, Mike?
I don't know. I feel like I want something though.
Don Penny says, I was jumping on that blue-handled Gyuto as soon as the garage sale opened up in case anybody else was looking for it.
Oh, God.
And Jay Rose said, what brand in steel, please? So I think you held up something, and
Yeah.
Jay Rose wants to know about it.
So I walked him through that. It was the Miyazaki.
Okay.
Miyazaki, and it's Algami. It is part of the sale, and it's $670 for that guy. And free shipping in North America. And we will throw in a stack of stickers if you get it.
Listen, Brian understands, Brian Crook, because he calls it like it is. And he says, can you guys convince me not to buy a Kato Black Damascus Petty? Thank you. So I think you should hold it up and then tell him all the reasons not to buy it.
I think one of the reasons not to buy it is because
I want to buy it
instead.
I mean, now that I don't really love Western handles, but Mike, you really sold me on having a Western handle petty.
That's also a steak knife.
So I would use this as a petty.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that's also a steak knife.
Yeah. So you can eat your steak and have it too. We do have more of a petty shape in this guy, don't we? I don't know. I like the steak knife shape better. I think it's a lot cooler.
I like it cooler.
I like it shaped cooler better.
I like cool shapes better.
Now we're talking hockey.
Cool shape better than hockey shape.
I think this knife did a really good job tonight. I think the other knife just got out there and was just a little bit better at being a knife tonight. But we'll come back tomorrow and just be better knives.
We're really going to give her 110%.
I'm going to have 110%. It's team game.
100%,
One day at a time.
110% a knife.
One day at a time. It's team game. Team game.
Yeah, we're just going to try and keep our handles on the ice.
Listen, Iceberg Mama. Sorry, Mount Everest, who, by the way, is a larger person than me. Apparently.
And they like my jokes, so they must have played some hockey.
Canada Post is the bane of my existence. I swear they must drive it across the.
It's a second
Bullshit.
pandemic.
That was British Post then.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, there we go. Some
They,
people can't use that excuse.
So Canada Post back in the spring had Christmas levels of traffic in April, and they had
they're
a fraction of their
getting
staff, so they were getting hit hard.
And so we get it to them as fast as we can.
Totally.
And then sometimes they get it too quickly as well.
You ever try to
So
put
sorry
something in a
about that.
funnel into a bottle, but you forget to leave room for airflow, and it just goes everywhere? And then you lift the funnel up, and the bottle just overflows. That's kind of what they were experiencing for this year, all of it.
Like they were really busy?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, they're
And it
talking
took a long
about Dana.
time.
Oh my God, there's a lot of hockey
Real long
talk
time.
going on. Lindros, Dana Merzen.
Can you translate for us, Kevin?
Just wear a Santa hat and talk goofy.
All right, cool.
I
I can do that.
That would be a great steak knife, said Iggy, and I get that.
Mhm.
I would definitely not be buying the wah handled one.
Favorite steak?
Brian
what
Crook said.
steak would you cut with this knife? I'm gonna say pork shoulder blade
Okay,
steak.
Mount Everest wants a dad joke leaderboard in the back, and Mount Everest reckons that Nathan's winning.
I
is.
appreciate that.
Brian Crook also said I did UPS last time. At least it won't get stuck on a truck not moving for 2 weeks.
Well, you never know, Ben.
You never
At
know.
least with you, I'll
When
tell you one
UPS
thing about
fired us earlier
UPS.
this year.
The one thing about UPS is they won't lose it. Now, someone's gonna obviously be like, UPS loses my stuff all the time, but Canada Post does sometimes just be like,
When you're following
It
the tracking,
vaporized.
if you're following the tracking and it ends up in Mississauga,
yeah, Mississauga. is like-
Mississauga is the dead letter office, man.
yeah.
If your knife goes to Mississauga,
Oh,
you
man.
will never get it.
Yeah.
Part of the problem with Canada Post, what we were experiencing this spring, and by the way, if you are planning to order things online and you want them for Christmas, get them this week. And I'm not kidding. Get them this week or early next week, because it's probably going to start getting really slow really soon. So order your gifts now. Set a little extra time aside. Make some decisions. Get your stuff ahead of time, because we're anticipating it getting slow for sure. And the issue we were having was that stuff was ending up at their sorting facility really quick, but the sorting facility was way over capacity, and it would sit there for 2 weeks. And then as soon as it got out of the sorting facility, again, super quick. But that was really the bottleneck, and I don't expect that to be different.
I didn't hear it, but someone has told me that they made a statement today in the press that beware, Canada Post is about to get throttled.
Yeah.
And to expect things to slow down.
Yeah, it's sad.
Sometimes you just
There's-
gotta lower
and
your
this
standards.
is just descended into a lot of complaining about shipping companies. I just want to say thank you for your patience, everybody. If you've got a knife stuck in transit, and thank you for understanding that we didn't do it. Because every now and again we get an angry email from somebody really angry at us because their knife is stuck at customs or their knife is somewhere. And I tell you what I did. I had and you guys have very little say over that, except for the few knives I delivered on my bike this year.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that again for Christmas.
Yeah, do some bike delivery.
It's one of those things. It's like complaining about flying, right? You know, you're still getting to fly somewhere. Like, you don't have to drive it across the country yourself. It is disappointing.
But seriously, order now. We have a gift guide if you need help choosing. There's a video on each gift guide page that tells you what you should buy for that person. So if you're shopping for a home cook, tells you what you should get for a home cook, what you should get for a professional, what to get a knife nerd, what to get a foodie. And chances are whoever you're buying for is one of those 4 things. So we'll make it easy for you. We already have.
Don Penny wants me to do bike delivery in Ottawa. Don, it's a long ride for me to get from Calgary to Ottawa.
Might
Yeah,
even be
that
slower
would
than
be
Canada
really
Post.
slow.
And it's slower too
Yeah.
in the winter, right?
Yeah.
It's slower. Like Saskatchewan's slower on the highways right now.
Yeah, Kevin, you have to bike to Toronto as well.
We'll pull the bike behind the
okay.
Tesla.
Well, I'll tell you what. 2022, I will bike to Toronto and Ottawa.
Oh, I think I just heard a declaration. I'm pretty sure that means he's getting back on his bike across the country in 2022.
Oh yeah, it's on again.
Yeah, great. Well, I know that this year was your year, but of anyone I know, that would be the most disappointed. This year really derailed your plans to ride your bike across the country. I felt really bad about that.
I did too.
Yeah. I felt less bad, but I felt bad for you.
Yeah, but you know what I did instead is I drank marinade pasta and did no exercise
Right.
and
yeah.
increased my circumference.
So you're all primed
Right.
and ready to ride your
Less
bike.
aerodynamic.
But I could spend days without eating.
Yeah, he's got energy reserves. He's got spare fuel tanks now. Keep the questions coming, folks.
Update on the Moritaka Ishime AS. Yes, it does in fact cut bones out of chicken very well. Importantly, very, very fun. Right? Yeah, honestly. The first time I remember using a Hanasuki,
Did you get it? Did you get it immediately?
immediately. I was working in a restaurant and I had like maybe a few days or a week or something before had visited Kevin at the shop in Knifewear and he showed me a Hanasuki and I kind of hummed and hawed on it and didn't buy it. And I was at work and someone had one. I used it. I put the knife down. I cleaned up. I went outside. I grabbed my phone. I called Kevin. I'm like, do you still have that Hanasuki? And promptly went after work and bought it.
Thank you for that, Mike.
Yeah, I still love that knife to this day. It was fantastic.
Don Penny says he's been broadening his horizons during the pandemic too.
Yeah, you fat bastard, Don Penny.
I tell you what, I got a secret. I lost a ton of weight during the pandemic. Break your jaw makes it really easy.
Oh.
Just like the car accident thing. Just break your jaw. Super easy to lose a ton of weight.
Well, just keep running that mouth.
Yeah, if you played hockey, you'd have no teeth.
How does Chris
Melt
Armitage
like
has
that.
teeth?
He's got to be fast.
He doesn't play hockey well.
Nobody's got to be fast. 'Cause he's like Matrix.
He's got to duck those knuckles.
This has descended.
Oh boy.
There was
Sorry,
guys.
guys.
AJ said, Kevin, can you get your book on Amazon Prime? And one, I don't know how to get it on Amazon Prime. And two, you could actually buy the book from us.
Yeah. We'll sell it
And
to you.
if you buy it from us, I'll even write, Dear AJ,
We'll sign it right now.
Dear AJ, are you the guy that
By
murdered the
we,
lady?
he means Kevin will sign it.
Yeah, you don't want us to sign it. We can't. write.
Although we could sign it if you really want it.
No, we're on camera because we can't spell.
That's true.
You're standing over there because I can smell.
Ooh.
Here.
That didn't even make the leaderboards. Kevin.
No, Kristen. Sorry. Here's one though.
Was it about Switzerland?
Do you know much about Switzerland? I don't, but the flag's a big plus.
So which one of these would be best to open my artery?
I don't know. I was just thinking about getting in a car accident with a knife, actually.
What do you call a blind deer? No idea.
He's actually
What do
halfway
you
down.
call
to the
a
floor
deer with
laughing.
no eyes and no legs? I don't know. Still no idea.
Oh, that was the best.
Oh dear. What's the loudest pet there is? Trumpet.
Oh, dear.
Oh.
Will we ever open a store in the United States?
Yes.
Well, we are in Alberta. We might join at some point.
After the Toronto store, the second Vancouver store, the second Toronto store, the
Kyoto
Oshawa
store.
store, the Kyoto store, the Nova Scotia store, the St. John's, Newfoundland store,
The Winnipeg
the
store.
Winnipeg store, the Saskatoon store, the Regina Satellite store.
We could do a Moose Jaw store, then we could sell knives and they could run them through the tunnels under the border.
My cousin owns that building with the tunnels underneath it. Yeah,
Really?
I'm related to most of Moose Jaw.
It's not hard.
Fact.
Only 3 last names.
So there you go. So yes, we'll open a store in the States, but we have a few to do. It's maybe when we open store 27.
Hawaii. Hawaii's part of the United States.
Knifewear Maui.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, give me 2 years.
Knifewear Maui.
Coming to a Maui near you.
What was the newspaper headline about the 4-foot-tall psychic who escaped from prison? Small, medium at large. That's better. That makes more sense. When I first read that, I read, what do you call a cow with no legs? A small, medium at large. And I was like, that's terrible. That doesn't make any sense
was
at
it
all.
Mount Everest that had, I think still my favorite dad joke was on Monday. Did you hear about the pharaoh they recently discovered? His sarcophagus was adorned with chocolate and hazelnuts. I believe his name was Pharaoh Rocher.
That's the best. Yeah, that was the best.
It's pretty good. I actually like that one.
Here is dad joke number 100 from my book. Why should you never trust atoms? Because they make up everything.
Jesus.
All right.
That's
So,
fantastic.
yeah,
Right, it's
nice.
7:30. We were supposed to go till 9, but I think this is like descended into.
Anybody got knife questions? Anybody need help Christmas shopping? Has anybody seen our shops in the last 24 hours?
Oh, has anybody been to Kent of Inglewood before?
Yeah.
Oh,
I've been
Mike,
to Kent of England before.
tell us about Kent of Inglewood.
Kent of
before we
Inglewood is
went there.
another store that we have. It actually started inside of Knifewear. It's tied to us through blacksmithing, really, because Kevin was in Japan and he met a guy named Iwasaki who was making these handmade Japanese straight razors. So in the true spirit of garage sale and shopping in Japan, it was just like, okay, yeah, let's get some of these and see what happens. And so along with those, we got some badger hair brushes, and then we also slipped in some European straight razors and some safety razors. And then,
Weird stuff.
you know what? It just became a real thing. So we turned it into a real store. So we've got shaving supplies, not Gillette, not foamies, not garbage, like
Nice shaving supplies.
nice stuff that works well, gives you a better shave, less irritation.
Cost you a lot less money.
It does actually, except for you because you keep buying straight
'cause I have
razors, but
12
that's
straight
it.
razors,
That's
but-
your own problem.
It's kind of like Japanese knives. You can buy one and have it forever, but
It's a
you
slippery
might end up
slope.
with 20.
We got beard care products too, and we've got axes and hunting knives. And you know what? It's kind of like when you find out that a kitchen knife can change your day. You can use a nice kitchen knife and actually appreciate the art of cooking.
I actually look forward to taking care of my face, which when I started at Knifewear was something I didn't realize you should do or could do.
Yeah,
Or
and not
didn't have
what you
to
were
suck.
thinking about when you got on that scooter this summer.
No.
You were not thinking about taking care of your face when you ate that bumper.
Hey, man, I was trying to avoid a parked car. It jumped out of nowhere.
Yeah, no. So Kent of Inglewood, if you don't know, it's another store that we have, and we have all sorts of great. If you've got a dude in your life who is just like the guy who's got everything and you don't know what to get him, we've got some really great stuff.
Or a non-dude.
And not just goofy things, And this kind of shaving stuff works for women as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, if you know somebody who shaves their legs or, just likes to style their hair or wants to smell good, we've got high-quality colognes and perfumes. We've got stuff for shaving legs and armpits. We got nice skin creams and also a lot of great outdoor stuff. I've got a stack of hunting knives and axes that are all beautiful and handmade that are much like these, but for people that like to camp and hike and do stuff like that. Sultan, I'm pretty sure this is the knife that won. This is number 4. You were the first one to vote on it. It clearly got more votes, and somebody said their daughter picked it. So I think if a kid likes it, that's a great knife. And I'm very sad about that because this is not my favorite one. So now I have to buy one.
I need to borrow one of those today.
Yeah, well, apparently it's number 4.
Really? Because I thought I was going to get number 1.
Well, you can go back and do a Florida recount if you want.
A Florida
Or-
recount.
What's it called now? A Georgia recount?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I think got to. Yeah, we sell those.
Hey, Mike, Mount Everest is smart. Mount Everest says, best part of a dad joke is when you tell it for a second or third time in as many days. This is a true fact.
No, as many minutes, man. That's a Kevin Kent specialty. Just tell him until he gets it. Right. So we had a question about the Honkotsu versus the Hanasuki. Honkotsu has a couple names: Hanasuki Maru, Sakabone, Honkotsu. It's I don't know if we have one on. We definitely don't. We don't have a ton of them. We do carry them sometime. They are particularly good for hanging carcass, kind of butchery. There is no choil to the blade. They're much better used like this way, hence the hanging carcass. I have one. I love using it. It's really great for cleaning sinew off of meat. I used to clean lots of things like strip loins and tenderloin loins. I use it if I'm breaking down any sort of primals, like a tenderloin or a strip loin or a sirloin or something. They're a little dicey because, I mean, you don't have anything to block your hand from running up over the edge of the knife. But no, they're fantastic. We just don't seem to get as many. And I know Naoto was working on getting some more, but step by step.
The problem is the ones we can get, we don't like.
On our website, they're listed as a Hanasuki Maru.
Yeah.
AJ says, well, are you going to get Shiba to sign my book too? It's difficult. He's not in my city.
Next time he comes to Calgary.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to.
Sean Creed says the jokes are making him want to punch things. Maybe Sean needs to take anger management.
I think that's why Sean throws axes a lot.
Well, as long as he doesn't throw them at me, I'll be fine.
Well, keep up with the dad jokes.
And he says Maui. It's not even the best Hawaiian island. Kauai is much better. Well, agreed, but Maui actually has humans on it.
Dude, we're from the prairies.
Kauai has like 9 humans on it, one road.
That sounds pretty great.
Well, I know, we might want to sell some.
AJ, we're from the prairies of Alberta and Saskatchewan. Any Hawaiian island is the best Hawaiian island.
Uber Hype says, how about a Montreal store for all of us froggies? It's on the list. It's on the list, man. Mm-hmm. Our whole expansion of stores slowed down this year because there was a thing happened.
Yeah. We were supposed to open a Toronto store in like 6 months from now.
6 months from now, but it's not going to happen. Now, here we go. Christopher Martin says, opinions on forcing a patina and methods.
So I'll walk you through it. There's a really great blog on our website by Adam Zuricki, who is our Edmonton assistant manager. And I think it covers it pretty well. But basically, to oxidize or to patina something, you want acid. So coffee works really well for it. Some people use mustard. There's different ways to go about it. But you want to basically oxidize it in a controlled way. So one thing you can do is to wipe lemon juice or coffee or mustard all over the blade, let it sit for several minutes, and then wipe it down and rinse it, and just repeat that process over and over and over. Adam's blog has a pretty kind of in-depth description of it. I'm just going to search it up real quickly. I believe it's called How Do I Stop My Carbon Steel Knife from Rusting? There it is. And he uses coffee. And I think there's actually a shot of his Masaki Shimo sitting in a Tim Hortons cup. But basically, you're using an acid of some sort to... oh, and I can't comment here. Anyways, Google How Can I Stop My Carbon Steel Knife from Rusting? It'll show up on our site. It's a great little blog. And he just walks through the process of using coffee to build a patina. There's a million opinions and thoughts on building patinas. Some people are purists and think you should develop it your own. But I think there's nothing wrong with it. It's going to get a really beautiful looking patina on your knife right away. And especially if you're working in a professional environment and you use a carbon steel blade, getting a patina on it right away is definitely not a bad thing. The other option, what I like to do when I get a new carbon steel knife, is I make French onion soup. I chop like 20 onions, and I make like a nice onion jam or French onion soup. You can even make French onion soup and then reduce it into like a paste and use that to make your own French onion dip, and that is amazing. So yeah, just cut lots of onions. You ever do that? You make French onion soup, and then you reduce it into like a mud, and then you just put a couple scoops of that into mayo and sour cream and make like real French onion dip. It's bananas.
You
Oh,
can
yeah.
also do that with the
It's so good.
powdered Lipton soup.
I was just
You
gonna
can.
say, I prefer a combo of mayo and sour cream.
That's what I said.
50-50.
Mayo and sour cream, yeah.
Oh,
You need balance.
I wasn't listening.
You need the fat and the sour.
Can a big piece of meat the blood will give us some patina?
Will it?
I don't know. That's what someone
Ice
said.
blood is basic, so it might. I don't know. I haven't found that
Yeah, I'd like
blood
to tomorrow.
from meat really oxidizes my knives very well, but I could be wrong.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. So some folks are talking about getting a blue patina from cutting meat. I'm gonna have to try this out now. Read that some use mustard to force a patina.
I've done that before. Yeah.
Yep.
Onions.
Mustard's
I cut
got-
onions. A lot of onions.
Mustard's got a ton of vinegar in it, and that'll basically do the trick. Yeah, Mike's saying, as I said earlier, cut a ton of onions. Just cut 20 onions, make French onion soup, or whatever else has 20 onions in it. We got any?
Caramelized onions with roasted pork and aged cheddar. That's a delightful
Sounds
sandwich.
good.
Don
Yeah.
Don Penny, who once bit a shark, said, "I have no need of shaving supplies on my face."
Yeah, you can shave whatever you want.
Well, you are a triathlete as well, and you like to cut down the resistance in the swim. I get it.
Don Penny, if you don't shave, you probably have a beard, and we also have beard stuff.
If you don't shave, you probably have a beard.
The best
Seems
way
like it
to,
makes
I
sense.
think, the best way to make a patina on your knife is to use it a lot, and at the beginning of owning the knife, is you're very careful to keep a dry cloth next to you. I find microfiber just actually spreads the water out into a very, very thin layer. So a dry cloth or even paper towel, I just make sure it's really dry, but I just keep cutting with it over and over and over, and then it develops this patina au naturel.
Oh, that's how Mike likes to swim and ride his bike.
I like to swim and ride au naturel. What does that mean?
Well, I just thought because I remember you were telling me about the triathlon you did.
Yeah, that's right.
The natural triathlon you told me about.
That's true. Yeah.
And,
Look at this body. It looks like a triathlete's body, doesn't it?
Well, you're just getting back into it.
Did we mention that these knife bags from West Japan Tools?
Those just came in.
They just came in. Do you know what I found out though?
They were only 4 days late.
It's corduroy around the ridges.
Oh my god.
Oh, it is. Look at
Oh,
that.
that's awesome.
Corduroy.
Oh, I like that.
It's corduroy, and it's cut on the bias too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very clever. These
Yeah.
are very, very nice
There's a lot
attention
of
to
thought that goes
detail,
into making those.
which is what you expect when you get from stuff from Chiba.
We also got these guys, which I'm super into.
Oh,
It's
no.
A 10-knife block.
Sultan said if you could only take one knife, which one would it be and why? That's a terrible question.
To do what? To cook?
One knife to save them all.
I would
One knife to
do
rule them all.
like a 210 or a 240.
I would do 240, but I'd have something a bit funkier, ruggeder. I'd have this. That's what I'd have. I could do everything with that.
Kevin
So I'd
would have
to be a
that. Yeah, you're right. You could totally use that as a chef's knife.
You could totally use this as a slicer though.
I could also use this as defense.
Powdered stainless.
You could bop somebody over the head with a
240.
handle.
Yeah. 240 powder stainless for me. And just a chef's knife. Or one knife 180 Kotetsu Bunka. Yeah.
We're talking about survival. Kagura, handmade Damascus.
No, you'd never make it.
Sweet.
Danielle's just made
Well,
a
you know,
comment.
if you get
the
a
only
little
thing
love,
she said is vegans. I don't know if that's I love vegans. I hate vegans. I am a vegan.
Is that
I
what
like
you
to
use to develop the patina on your knife? Is
I
cut
like
a whole
to
bunch
eat
of vegans?
I don't know what that means.
This is weird. Danielle, you must explain. You want us to show vegans in our cooking channel?
We have one.
We have a great
We
vegan.
have a tame one. His name's Adam.
He's a tame vegan. I was out for dinner with him and he was asking some questions about the items on the menu. And finally the server stopped him and said, "Are you a vegan?" And he said, "Yes, I am." And she said, "You know you're in Vancouver. You can just tell me you're a vegan." And he said, "I'm sorry, I'm from Edmonton." So there you go. That's my favorite
Yeah.
story. She said he was the politest vegan, not the most demanding.
Yeah, well,
Like a little
it's,
solo.
well that's Adam, you know.
The politest vegan.
Hey, listen. Garnet Paul said, speaking of French onion soup, you guys used to give out a French onion soup recipe with your knives. Why did you stop doing that?
That's a
And
great
my
question.
question is, We stopped doing that? I didn't
Yeah,
tell you
I didn't
to.
know.
We did. We did.
I'll text Mason.
And that's, yeah, there we go. And then that's what Daniel Fairbolt was blaming the vegans for the French onion soup fiasco.
Do you know what? I think what we should probably do is make a French onion soup as per that past recipe and then do one with a good recipe.
Sultan says, talk about that cutting board now.
Paulina wood, super lightweight. They're nice, kind of thinner board, so easier to store, especially if you live in a smaller apartment and it's maybe not going to live on your countertop. They are dirt cheap. Like, how much is this guy? Free?
I think
Really
they're
cheap.
40 and 50
This
bucks.
guy's 56, and this guy is less than 56 because it's smaller. And they're, yeah, like I said, they're super lightweight. So honestly, these are amazing. These would also be super good. I don't know if we have anybody in the audience who's like a personal chef, but does kind of like more private kind of cooking.
Oh,
This
this
would be
traveling. That's
perfect.
a traveling cutting board.
Perfect for traveling.
That's really smart.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're super lightweight. Like this thing weighs definitely less than a pound. I don't know. Get the scale out. And they're dirt cheap. Also, if you want to add a cutting board as a gift to a knife, the number one way to keep your knife sharp is to use a good cutting board. And if you can't afford to get a $150, $200 cutting board with the knife you're buying, $40, $50, that's super affordable. Great kind of, well, not exactly a stocking stuffer. So this guy is just over a pound. It's 540 grams. Super easy to travel with.
So this is something that happens in garage sales, is we'll bring in a stack of items and kind of like, should we keep them or should we not? We see how they go. We get feedback from people. We try them ourselves. And this is something that's stuck around. Some of you might have seen in the last couple of years, we've been really experimenting with pots and pans because they're a really crucial part of the cooking process. They're widely available. There's some that are great, some that are okay. And we've been kind of testing some of them out. Now, this is a wok from a company called Yamada. This is actually a hammered steel pan. So being light and thin, but being hammered actually makes the steel a little bit denser, so it conducts the heat more evenly. But yeah, this thing is great.
It's been years since I was light and thin and hammered.
It's been days.
I've been hammered. I just haven't been light and thin for years.
So yeah, the Yamada woks are something that we brought in for a garage sale a while ago.
I just
They're
got
stuck
one of
around.
these, and I've been making lots of fried rice and lots of stir fries in it, and it rocks.
Yeah.
And I have an electric stove, which sucks for stir frying, but a Yamada wok makes it bearable. Yeah,
Amazing.
it's pretty rad. I'm excited to get that out over your gas burner, though.
It made my life
Yeah.
measurably better.
Any plans on carrying the Shapton Pro Kuromaku series of stones? The Shapton Pro 1000 is often recommended as a starter stone online. I have no plans of carrying that. My favorite starter stone is the Knifewear one. And I know that sounds trite, but Naoto and I worked for years to make this line of, like, to get the right stones and to be the stones that we wanted. And that 1000 grit stone cuts fast.
This thing
It's
rocks.
soft because it gives a really good finish.
Really nice for polishing bevels.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
guy, yeah.
And
Beauty.
it's forgiving because it's not too hard, so it's got a bit of give to
cheap.
it.
It's super affordable.
How much is it?
I don't know, 40 something. We also have a combination stone now, which we didn't have previously. So if you're really on a budget, we got the 220-1000 combo. I like standalone stones because I only like to use one side because I like them to sit nicely.
46.
Yeah, so this guy's 46. I like to pair that up with a 220 if I'm going to gift somebody some sharpening stones. Always get a truing stone. Don't sharpen knives without a truing stone because this guy keeps these guys flat. We have some like combination packages. So if you're looking to get set up with sharpening gear, these guys come as a set. You can add in the truing stone. You can add in a sink bridge. You can add in a 4,000 grit or even an 8,000 grit. So there's a bunch of different options there. Definitely the best way to start.
I'm probably biased though because that is very similar to the stone that I sharpened on, like that I learned to sharpen on.
Oh yeah.
That's what a lot of us learned on at Knifewear. Like that's the stone I learned on.
That's the stone I still use.
Stones are
That's like we have a lot of stones through our hands. We've carried lots of stones in the past.
Oh yeah.
Those 4 stones are still my go-to set.
and they work all the time. We use them in the shop all of the time.
Yeah, Naoto uses them for his advanced sharpening class all the time.
Yeah.
Like it's just the stones that we actually do use.
I heard a whisper that you and Naoto are working on another set of stones. Is that a whisper?
No, it's
Go for it.
Yeah,
Let the rat out of the bag, if you will.
we've been doing all these videos, and Naoto has been really going down the rabbit hole of stones, the best type of stones to use for finishing the knife. So when you're grinding away the steel along the face of the blade or the bevel here, like this, right? You leave behind some deep scratches. So we try to make it look exactly like it was when it was brand new, or we do our best to make it look good. And he's been finding all sorts of different types of steels, different types of stones to do the job. And he's narrowing it down to his favorites. And I think he's going to engineer a set of finishing stones, which is very exciting because that guy could, like, he sharpens the most amazing things.
We've been working with Nano on that, and the other thing too is we're looking for stones that give feedback as well, like those Kensho stones. So when you're sharpening, and you're on the 1,000 grit stone, we want the stone, the way the stone looks, the way the knife looks, to tell you how you're doing and when it's time to go to the next one. So we're looking for stones that give the right feedback.
So cool.
Yeah, so there's gonna be one that gives really Kasumi finishes, one that gives good feedback about when to move on to the next stone for sharpening. And then there's going to be one for finishing that we're hoping is just like a bit like, do you remember that 8,000 grit stone I got from Shiba years ago?
Yeah.
That I wrote, "This is gold, stop using it on the side," and then you guys fucking used it till it's gone because you're assholes? We're talking with them.
Nice.
Because that's an insane
that
stone.
stone was so good.
That's an insane
I like
stone.
that because for anybody who's less good at sharpening than Naoto, like me, it's very important to have that feedback.
Yeah.
Deep fry wok.
As a chef,
what
do
you
you
know
like
about
cast
cast
iron or
iron?
carbon? Depends.
No, man.
Pull up a chair.
Yeah.
We got 2 hours of conversation coming up.
So I made latkes for breakfast today, and I used cast iron because I was going to cook a whole bunch of them. And
Did you make potato pancakes this morning?
Yeah.
So did I.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck, I also made sausages and poached eggs.
It's winter.
How
It's,
weird.
it's time to make some latkes. So I used cast iron because I wanted to retain heat. I wanted to keep the heat low so they wouldn't get too hot and burn. But I wanted it to be hot. I wanted that oil to sizzle. I want to get a nice crust on the latkes, and cast iron does that. But if you're gonna like stir fry something and do high heat fast, or you want to like make the skin on some fish super fucking crispy, then you're gonna want carbon steel. That's how I feel about it. Thoughts?
I use cast iron pans in a restaurant, and I used one place where we had one cast iron pan that just stayed on one spot, and one thing was cooked in it all the time. It was duck, and it lived in that spot. I worked at another place where we had cast iron pans that were little, and you used them as your normal frying pans, and we all had tendonitis.
Oh yeah.
From lugging around heavy frying pans all the time. That's my question. To directly answer your question as a professional, carbon steel, because it was a little bit lighter. In my personal experience now, I find that I have a bit of an easier time seasoning the cast iron pans. I find that the carbon steel can lose its seasoning and be a little fussy. Like, I have a carbon steel pan I use for frying eggs, and that is the absolute only thing that goes in it. It does need more sort of seasoning every single time you use it.
Well, the seasoned carbon steel is more superficial, on carbon steel is more superficial. It sits on the surface.
Sure.
It doesn't get into the steel. It fuses onto the steel the way it does with cast iron.
Right. Nice.
Although with that said, I take carbon steel camping because it's light. It's thin. It's light. If you want to take a pan camping, that's your best bet. You could take cast iron pan like car camping, but you're not going to have very much fun lugging it around.
So if I'm going to be sauteing things and like making stir fries or doing whatever, even like ratatouilles and stuff, I use carbon steel. And if I really want like something to be nonstick, it's that. But someone did ask about this. This is the Prince Kyogo 240 millimeter diameter deep fry pan. It's lovely. Something I do want to point out that's hard to show in this is that it's thicker on the bottom, and they've milled the sides down so the sides are a little thinner. So as the heat comes up around the side, it'll hold the temperature on the bottom, but it'll move up the sides pretty easily too because it's thinner. Right. It does have a slightly riveted handle like this and wood on it. So when you season this, you do need to season it on a stovetop and an open flame. It doesn't go well if you season it inside of your oven at, say, like, seasoning temperature of 450 degrees, because the wood doesn't make it. That's my story.
Brian says his induction burner hates his ballerina pan. It gets into temperature cutoff really easy and it's super annoying.
Oh, really?
I don't have induction. I don't know. Like, I've used it only briefly. I don't really know how to use induction. I don't know what the deal is. I have gas. I'm so boring.
One of the things that kind of screws up inductions is, like, sometimes the handle weight will tip the pan back, and it only actually connects the heat to, like, a third of the pan.
No,
or
he
something.
says it gets temperature
Overload.
cutoff. It says it goes into temperature cutoff easily.
I think some of them have like a safety feature, which means I don't know.
It will let you overheat so it doesn't melt the steel.
Like every time I move into an apartment, I unplug the smoke alarm because it means I can cook at a high temperature. And so I think it's like a safety feature where it cuts off and you can't get over a certain heat, which sucks. I don't know if you can overcome that.
Jason, this pan will work great on an electric stove. It's got a really nice flat bottom to it, for sure. What I find when I'm using carbon steel or cast iron that I have adopted is a long preheat.
Yeah.
So as I'm starting to chop things, I put my pan on the stove on a lower temperature to let the heat really get through the pan. Then when you get to adjusting to the temperature you want, you've kind of built it up to the level so it reacts a little better. Yeah, Sean, you're right, actually. Sean, Mr. 9 Foot, is you can probably take that handle off if you did want to season it in an oven. There's an Allen key nut at the back of it.
I probably wouldn't, just because carbon steel requires constant seasoning compared to cast iron, and you're going to be taking the handle off like every other day. But Nato says just like swirl some oil around it, get it, like you were saying, preheat it at a low heat, and then throw some oil there and just kind of swirl it around a bit, and then just let it hang out for a few minutes.
And let your fire detector go off. Your smoke detector.
Yeah.
You
That's
have
how I
a
see
smoke detector?
Have you ever cooked at my house?
My smoke detector's in my bathroom. Not because of what you're thinking.
Don't smoke in the bathroom.
I don't smoke in the bathroom. Nothing smoke in the bathroom. That's why the smoke detector's in there.
You got an old,
Smoke everywhere else in the house.
You got an old toilet.
Keeps going
Who
off.
knows what'll happen?
Yeah, Jason, that's a really, really nice pan. I think you'll really enjoy it. And it does season a bit. I worked in a restaurant, and actually something we did a lot on flat tops that, the guy would clean them at night, and he would pour water on the flat top. Now, this was more of a stainless steel thing or a steel thing, and we would actually heat it up with salt on it. And the salt would draw moisture out of it. And there would be you'd have the powdery bits of salt left, or there would be clumps, like where it would pull the water out, and you scrape that off, and then you season it. And this is for like frying eggs on a flat top on a daily
I got a
basis.
flat top in my kitchen, and you know what I do to it? I've never cleaned it. I just scrape it off.
Oh yeah, that's the way
Yeah,
to do it. Yeah.
I just scrape it off. I know. I was doing a video there one day,
Well,
and someone
grilled
said
bricks would give you PTSD, I'm sure.
"Oh, it's the feeling of them."
It's like if you
The smell of them?
ever played a woodwind, and you think about reeds. Yeah, you played a woodwind before.
No, I
no.
hate that. Okay, what else we got? We're totally off topic. Yeah, I'm sure the variant feature might have.
Iceberg Mama says,
Oh,
"What
I
is the best
see.
way to make French fries?"
There's a McDee's across the street from me. They're pretty good.
Do you know what? This is kind of got off the rails. If you guys have any questions, let us know.
I do French
Maybe-
fries.
maybe-
I boil. I throw them in the freezer to dry out for a bit, and then I do fry them. Super
Because
good.
I'm trying to figure out, should we stick around and do another hour?
I don't know. Do you guys have a bunch more questions, or are we free?
Are you releasing us?
Ben's gonna have another beer.
You can have another beer, Mason. Nathan.
May I have another beer?
Fuck your name.
Nathan.
Nathan.
Please.
I'll share one with you.
I will share one with you. I don't need a whole beer.
Well, we can share another one after that.
All right. Or we can just break into those mini bottles of gin that are in the fridge. How heavy the pan is? Was that
How heavy the pan is.
Where did you put that pan?
I put the pan back in the box the pan came out of. I have so many frying pans.
So this is for Jason Hannibal.
I have a lot of the Dubouillet French pans. I have some Ballerini pans. Yep, you're good to go. I have a Dubouillet 3mm thick pan of this exact size and dimension. This style of pan, it gets a ton of use. It's a really multi-purpose pan. I use it for so much stuff, like stewing things with tomatoes, that I've kind of just like forgotten about trying to season it. But yeah, it's 860 grams.
We had a question a while ago that we managed to ignore.
What is the grid of the honing
Honing
rods?
rod grit.
Oh
You
yeah,
did
yeah.
Ignore that. Sorry about that.
Sorry, buddy. We got the honing rods ready, and then we completely forgot to answer you.
Because we're stupid.
And this is for hone the rat. No,
We
I
kinda say,
don't
like-
want to hone the rat.
Like 4,000 or 6,000 and like 8,000. This is a harder ceramic, and it feels coarser. When I think I really understood this honing rod was when some line cook came booking in the store, just gotten off the bus, was on the way to work, and was like, "Where are those white honing rods? Those things are the best." And it's just someone who just smashes away all day long with a knife on a kitchen, on a line, and it just has found that this thing puts an edge back on their knife easier than anything. This is what I think.
I think the black knife gives you a smoother edge. I think it's more
Smoother
refined.
edge. A little bit smoother, a little bit more refined, a little bit coarser. So this is what I think. If you are only going to hone your knife every now and again, like when you're starting to question what you should do, your knife isn't really cutting that well, and you go, "Oh yeah, right, I bought that thing." Get the white one. If you're a very diligent person who will hone their knife once a week, or every time you use your knife, you only really need the black one. Now, some of you might have had some of these for a long time. You might have noticed that they're not looking so hot. The white one does sort of turn dark as you use it because the metal wears off on it and it gets dirty. You can clean them. I've used things like a Nagura stone, which is a stone that you use for cleaning your sharpening stones. Or you can use Barkeeper's Friend, something abrasive, and it'll actually clean off the thing and it will kind of renew it. It does start to feel like it gets plugged up a bit over time. You can also, like I know a chef here in town who uses, he's in Edmonton, the white one and the black one, and he finishes on a leather paddle shop, and he claims he never ever has to use a sharpening stone. He's kind of an insane person, though. What is the
Maybe
grit
not
density
as
of the?
much.
I can't remember exactly. There isn't an abrasive particle mixed into the honing rods like a sharpening stone.
It's just the texture of the rod.
It's
right?
the texture of the ceramic, and there's a difference of 1 mo between
That's
the two.
hardness.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
another way to measure like rock pile.
it is. Yeah.
And
That's-
isn't that
So that was his question: is what's the hardness?
And isn't that a logarithmic scale? Like there's one up the scale would be like 10 times harder.
I know one is like 8 mo, and the other one is 9 mo, or it's 3
Yeah,
mo and 4
I believe
mo.
it works like the Richter scale, sort of, where it would one number up would be 10 times harder, or something along those lines, or another power of 10.
So grit density, yeah. All right.
They're getting into enameled cast iron now and stuff. But I've got a question. What's the difference between a French oven and a Dutch oven?
French onion
Because
and Dutch
where
onion.
I come from, a Dutch oven isn't what you cook with.
They smell bad.
Oh, I always make me laugh. It always makes me laugh.
I feel like we should open up a Discord soon.
Beef bourguignon in the oven.
Oh.
What time will it be ready? How long does it take to get there, John May? I love a good beef bourguignon. I'll bring you a nice bottle of wine.
Red Lou says, trying to find those cutting boards online. How do I find them?
Hallelujah. Paul like Paul. OWINIA. We're not signed in, so we can't.
You know what? I just went to the website.
Torjiro cutting. I searched Torjiro, Tojiro, cutting, and they all came up there for me.
Perfect.
Okay, dokie.
Hole in the Rat says number 1, +1 on that Discord idea. What's Discord?
Discord. Okay. Home the Rat. You might need to fill me in a little bit. From what I understand, it's basically a place where people can chat based around a certain community. So we would have like a
Is
Knifewear Discord. People could go there and have like
So like
chat rooms
Reddit?
kind of thing. Sort of, yeah, but it's like our own kind of
I went to
sort of.
Reddit once. Everybody was mean, so I left.
It's more community based than Reddit.
Oh, they were very mean about the communities on Reddit. They were very community based. They were just mean. So I told them all to fuck off, and I left and I burned the bridge.
Nice.
Yeah, they deserved it.
So yeah, oh no, wait, I'm going back one. Sultan, we do have leather straps. They are made with bridle leather, so it's a relatively thick, very even finish, very smooth leather.
And on the other side?
The other side is suede. I like to rub chromium oxide on the suede, and some people do, some people don't. But I think that's a really nice way to smooth out the burrs of the edge.
Kevin's doing obscene things off camera.
Stored it with some metal utensils. I guess that was bad. Oh, neat solutions for storing them.
It's a good beer.
I have a little screw at the Jean-Luc. I have a little screw at the edge of my little kitchen island. I've got like one of those little IKEA kitchen islands, and just on the leg underneath the overhang of the cupboard or the shelf, I put a screw in there and I hang the honing rod off the side of it. It looks kind of neat. At least I think it's
Mount
neat.
Everest, are we good popular or bad popular in the Chef's Nuts? Because there's two kinds of popular on the internet. We've been both.
I hope we're
Especially
good
Kevin.
popular. I hope we're good popular. So.
Also, if you live in Calgary or Alberta in general, get some Dandy beer. They're great people. They're seriously really great people, and they make really delicious beer. This is the Oyster Stout, and it's
They were in the news this
I
morning.
really liked stout beers normally, but this one's really good.
Hey, apparently we're good popular, so I won't go there.
That's good.
Oh,
Yeah.
please
Don't mess it
stay
up for us,
away.
Kevin.
I tend to make us bad popular.
No,
talk
Joe-
about living wages and Teslas on
Electric cars, ride your bike.
I think, John May, I thank you for your reply. You answered the wrong question. How far away are you, and how far away will it take for me to get to the beef bourguignon? That was the real question. Not how long do you cook it for. T2GIPA, yeah, it is delightful. Yeah. So the Discord, I think, like you mentioned, it's a more of a live stream thing, kind of like what we're doing here with the Chop Chat, and it just like it happens, but
So
it's
we
just
could
its own
do,
thing.
because Danielle says we could do live stream for donations. She's like, because she was talking about do a cutting demo and have donations. Says you can do that on Reddit there. So that sounds
I like
fun.
that idea. Yeah, we like giving money to charity. We give half our sharpening proceeds to charity every year. We give 100 to 150,000 or so every year to Center for Autism Services Alberta, Soul Food Farms in Vancouver, Operation Come Home in Ottawa.
Yeah.
And I think, Kevin, you were saying it's getting close to more like 200 grand this year.
Yeah.
All of these groups that we work with are fantastic. Operation Come Home has identified that there is an age range of kid who is an at-risk youth who can sometimes be in an age where they're very vulnerable, where they don't get a lot of support. They do a fantastic job. Actually, our store manager is on the board of directors now. He's played a big role. They do a lot of things to keep these guys together and safe. Well, they also do things like teach them how to run a little business. I know they were doing a CSA, a community supported agricultural thing for a while. They were doing fantastic stuff. And Soul Food Farms is in downtown east side of Vancouver, where they've got some empty lots and they're actually doing a whole bunch of urban gardening, which I don't know if you've ever done any gardening, but it's a great thing for your soul.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, I was Center for Autism Services here in Alberta. Man, these people take care of people.
They came and presented in our shop for all our staff one time. And the two really cool things that they do that I learned about were, number one, they give support to people of all age ranges.
Yeah.
It's very common to get support for children who are diagnosed with autism. It's very rare for adults to get help.
Oh, they got cut off at 18 and sent out to
Yes,
the world.
yeah.
Once
it's
you
like,
turn
oh, you're
18,
grown up.
that's it.
Go
right?
F yourself, whatever. And they do an amazing job at taking care of people of all age ranges, but also not just babying them, like helping them have independence, helping them learn the life skills they need to have their own apartment and live their own life. The other thing they do is they intervene. So they help people get a diagnosis and get the attention they need at the right age, because you can get a diagnosis as young as 2 years old, but often autism goes undiagnosed for way too long, or especially in girls. It's often not diagnosed until they're much older. So they get very little attention. And so they come in at that age and they help them learn skills and basically learn things they need, get the care that they need, so they can, the difference that intervention makes at an early age to how somebody can get by in life, it's massive. And that's what they do.
The right class.
Is they help people get the tools they need, get the attention they need, learn the way they need at all age groups, and they really do amazing work.
Yeah, AJ, AJ's got a question here. Would we ever sell our strop with shell Cordovan leather? Cordovan comes from horse. It's like off the kind of the back end. We have them in Kentaviga. We use them for honing straight razors or stropping straight razors. They are a hanging leather strop. That would be amazing. I'm gonna see if I can get some replacement bits of leather.
Yeah,
Cordovan.
Probably get some custom cut pieces with an adhesive on.
It would take your strop from being $80 to be probably $300 to $400. Cordovan leather is incredibly sought after. It's only made in, I believe, France and in Chicago or Illinois. And
Chicago's in Illinois.
that's true. Illinois is in Chicago. What? That's wrong. Shut up.
Mike, you're not even drinking.
I'm not. It's amazing. It's amazing the draw that your edge has on Cordovan leather. But it's also primarily goes to real fancy shoes.
I do notice it's really, really nice when I'm using it to strop something that I put on my face to shave with. I don't know if I would know the difference cutting a tomato with it, and everybody's different with their kitchen knives. I think the difference would be maybe lost on me a little bit in a kitchen setting, but if you have a straight razor, first of all, if you don't have a straight razor and you love Japanese knives, get a straight razor. It's the same thing, but for shaving. And then if you get a straight razor, get a Cordovan strop for your straight razor. And if you need one, check out Kent of Inglewood.
Danielle's asking about cool small knives.
Yeah.
Oh, I think this is a really useful, cool small knife. This is called a deba. You can use deba for taking apart little fish. You can also use it for taking apart chicken. You can also cut a carrot incredibly fine. It's the single bevel.
Oh.
Right? So it's beveled on one side, flat. In fact, it's concave on the back side.
Okay.
These are super fun. And a little guy is a really easy place to start, because you can take apart most fish that you can catch in not coastal. What's it called? Inland, freshwater fish. Yeah. What else? This is the Makoto Kurosaki. This is 135 mil petty, cool Damascus steel VG10 and ebony handle. This is a really useful knife. I think a 210 and a petty, that's going to really give you a great base of knives. And it's often the petty is the one that's kind of purchased last, but I think it's incredibly valuable in your kit.
Yeah, it's like a sidekick to your chef's knife.
Ooh.
It's Robin to your Batman.
Basically, yeah.
Or you could get this, which is actually a single bevel knife as well. Now this one's designed for eel, but I bet you could do a lot of fun stuff with this. Duck,
Totally.
peeling things. It comes, this one, for $386 as a I believe is a Kansai style? No, Tokyo style. This one, eel knife. Every region in Japan has a different style of eel knife.
There's a special Kyushu style of eel spike too.
Oh, right. Well, this is an eel spike because if you didn't know, if you are going to skin an eel, you can't do it when you kill it. After you kill it, the skin sticks to the fish and you can't cut it apart. So you get a really long skinny cutting board, like an eel, and you take this and you hammer the spike through the head of the eel, and then you fillet it while it's still alive. Now, one time I looked this up on YouTube, and that was the beginning of the darkest YouTube hole I ever fell in. So have a good night, guys. But yeah, fun little eel knife here.
If you want to get real dark, just go to our YouTube channel and watch the video of Mike chipping knives.
Oh,
And the one of him scraping knives on cutting boards.
I'm sorry.
There's
I did
some
it
great
for you.
videos on what not to do with your knives.
Yeah, we'd love to hear more suggestions, what you'd like for us to do on videos. I have one I think we're going to do is we often talk about cutting boards to not cut on. So we're going to line up a variety of cutting boards, and we have a semi-scientific test.
Yeah.
We're going to have
a Mythbusters style.
Mythbuster style. We're going to have a couple of good wood cutting boards. Then we're going to go into the bamboo, the epicures, the glass, the granite. And I've got a set of knives that we can use for this stuff. And they're all going to be sharpened the same. They're all the same knife. And we're going to cut a tomato on each one of them. And then we're going to see how long it takes until the knife loses its edge and can no longer cut through a tomato.
We've got a lot of what we think are good ideas, the videos we want to make.
We
But
kind of look like Mythbusters guys, hey?
yeah, a little bit.
We have stupid hats.
Yeah. But no, we've got a lot of good ideas of what we want to make. But we want to make videos that you guys actually want to watch and are going to get a lot out of. So whether that's technical, knife nerd sharpening stuff from Naoto, really, how to sharpen lots of different kinds of knives, whether it's us talking about the really romantic parts of the knives and how much we love this knife for this job, whatever, whether it's seeing Mike do terrible things to knives and try to dull them and chip them, whatever you guys want to see, let us know. Email it to us or hit us up in the comments because we want to make stuff that you guys want to watch.
If you wanted a great little knife, this is a great little knife. Again, this is a steak knife. Now, I was never a subscriber to the idea of a steak knife. I was a subscriber to the idea of buy a good steak and cook it properly, then you don't need a steak knife. But what I have learned after having a good steak knife is that serration on your steak knife will leave behind a coarse texture on the flesh that you have just spent so much time cooking. You use a really nice sharp knife, the texture of that meat, when you put it on your tongue, way better.
Yeah,
It makes it taste better.
If you want your steak to be like somebody's already chewed it for you, use a serrated steak knife.
Gross.
It
I'm the
feels
first
true, though.
person
It
to
feels-
chew my food. That's
Hold
the
me
rule.
closer,
it feels
tiny steak
pre-chewed.
knife.
No.
Listen, John May's got a lot to say, guys, and I think it's time for us to listen to John May.
Okay.
He says, the Bourguignon will be ready in about 3 hours. I live in Montgomery, so you've got plenty of time. Is that Montgomery?
Montgomery, Calgary?
Or
Montgomery, England.
I used to live in Montgomery, Calgary.
So, John May, we need you to clarify what Montgomery you're speaking of. He says, if you bring the Saji knife with you, you get a lifetime supply for as much as you want forever of beef Bourguignon.
Oh, hey.
Seems fair. How much, how often can you cash in? Is this every day you can show up and get
Do you have to leave the Saji knife, or can you bring it home after? He also says, don't waste Shell Cordovan on things like that. Shoes only, please. But he says it's actually Spain and Chicago where they make it. Chicago is
Spain,
where
okay.
Halloween is, and
Yep.
Cordovan is actually named after Cordoba, Spain.
Oh.
And
Oh,
Cordoba
interesting.
being one of John Cale's finest songs.
Oh.
So there we go. We
So
got a feel
the
for that.
razor strops that we have, I would say, besides shoes, the thing that Cordovan leather is good for is stropping razors. Yeah, trust me, it's incredible. But the stuff we get is from Horween.
This is I made this I went to a tack shop that has a whole bunch of leather. It's a leather shop that mostly sells stuff to people who are making tack. So this is just, I bought a huge discarded piece of bridle leather that they figured wouldn't be good for the way they cut stuff. But it was perfect for putting onto a guitar neck. So we found some dead guitars, unscrewed them, took them apart. At first I was taking a little tool and pushing the frets out. And then I got smart and put it on a belt sander and went zip, and then all the frets were gone. And then I took Gorilla Glue in a spray can. That was me. This is me putting Gorilla Glue on here in a spray
Don't
can.
ever use it as mouth freshener.
And then I put this on.
Or
And then I
screen cleaner.
put another piece of wood on top. And then I put a clamp on it so it would clamp down nice and evenly. And this has been a fantastic strop.
Yeah, I like it. I like the length.
And Danielle says she would love to see us cutting things that aren't eel with that eel knife.
Me too. I'm not going to cut an eel. That would be gross.
Anyway,
I
That's
would
a
like
lot
to.
of eel.
I would like to cut apart like
there's a
goose.
lot of eel. I worked in England briefly to get some experience with a guy that does smoked eel,
Oh, cool.
Oh,
and
cool.
Well, smoked eel
I'll
is
tell you
delicious.
I'll tell you all about that one day because I was a changed man after my 2 days there.
Oh, well, we should have fireside chats with Kevin
I
on the
wasn't
Discord.
changed in a good way.
Oh, did he touch you?
No.
Oh, he's in Montgomery, Calgary. He's on the way home
nice.
to your place.
Oh, well, that's really close to me.
But 3 hours, I'll be in bed by then. Thank you for the offer, John.
How about I bought some Uchigamori finger stones? I'd like to see a video on that. Naoto
Oh,
uses them almost every Friday on his live
Yeah,
advanced sharpening.
Tomorrow at 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, tune in. Ask now to use a Nushigomori finger stone, and he'll do it for you.
Easy peasy.
As far as recorded videos go, we are going to shoot some awesome advanced sharpening stuff with Naoto next year. If there's specific skills you want to see, let us know. We're going to do some single bevel sharpening. I think we're going to do some knife handle replacement, some chip repair, but that would be a good one as well. Maybe a video on different knife finishes,
Yeah, that'd be fun, man.
or several videos on different knife finishes.
Dawn's suggesting, yeah, Dawn, this is a great conversation about the steak knives. Yeah, cutting on a glass plate is definitely not good for your knife. It's like cutting on a cutting board. So ceramic will dull the tip of your knife. The thing is, when you're cutting food and you're chopping, you're using a lot more force, and that's going to help. That's going to make the situation worse.
You know what, Don? These Paulina cutting boards are cheap. They're under $50. Grab 4 or 6 of these and just use them instead of plates. They look cooler. They're nice and big, so they can accommodate like a nice T-bone or a ribeye and some sides. And yeah, just kind of
That's,
this is all you guys.
Pretty much where I was going with that. Steak plates made out of wood. What else we got in here? I saw something I was going to answer. There's a question here from.
Yakitori?
Did we talk to Bernie here?
No, that's the
Bernie
one we
Bernie.
meant to go to. I'm bad at this, aren't
Bernie has got a pair of Miyabi knives, which are lovely knives, and the best way to keep them sharp.
Well, just keep them sharp and then make them sharp again.
Yeah, I would use the ceramic honing rod that Nathan's holding up here and get a whetstone, or send them to us for sharpening.
Oh, don't break him, Mike. That's a weapon.
Sorry.
Nathan,
couldn't help
don't
it.
hit him, don't hit him with a brick in the face.
Don't stick
can't
things
hold
in
it
my
up, though.
ear. A pull-through sharpener is not good for your Japanese kitchen knives. You will chip it.
In fact, we can always identify when you've used one when you come in.
Absolutely. An electric sharpener, I have not found one that I would confidently put a Miyabi through. That's a very beautiful knife.
Yeah.
I think a Japanese water stone is the best thing to do. There are some other stone kind of sharpening gadgety things that will help you to keep your angle consistent, which is pretty important. Those things are okay. I find using a sharpening stone, and we have a video. We have lots of videos. We can show you how to do it.
There's a playlist on our YouTube channel.
Did you
how to
know-
sharpen your kitchen knives?
Did you know there's 53 people watching right now, but only one person has given us a thumbs up on this video? Yeah, I'm going to give us one.
Hey, 0
I'll give
people
us
have
one.
given us a thumbs down.
I just gave us a thumbs up, so that's 2 now.
Me too.
'Cause
We
you're
got
supposed to do
we got
YouTube.
11 on my end.
Well, they like you better, I guess.
Sorry, Kevin.
No.
Have you ever dropped a knife with the white rod on one side and the black rod on the other? Nope. Not at all.
I don't think I can.
Dr. G,
Try it. Let us know how it works.
report back. Report back with your findings.
Report back. You might have to do it for a solid week or 2.
Yeah, I
To
feel like
really
you want
see
like a
what the
long
results are.
period to test it.
Would you sell or trade for that strap? Yes. If you have a Datsun 240, half running,
Is that a
I'll
car?
take it.
A Datsun 240. I saw a great Datsun 240 a little while ago. I saw a little while ago.
I saw one that sold for $10,000 recently.
I saw a Jaguar E-Type the other day.
Fucking no.
I'd take it E-Type. I'd even make you a second one for an E-Type.
And if it was electric, I'd make a whole leather strap guitar. I wouldn't just use the neck.
If it wasn't even running, I would take your Jaguar E-Type. I don't know, AJ.
Michael, do it for carb-free French fries.
Carb-free French press.
What kind of French fries? Carb-free ones, thanks.
10K for that 240 is nothing. Wow, yeah, wow.
There you go. I don't have 10K to throw around on a car that's not going to run.
Don't crash your car.
John May, we are practically best friends. This is a true fact. Although now I just drive a bicycle or an electric car. All right, listen.
Well,
I think it's time to go, guys.
Yeah. Thanks everyone that tuned in. We're going to be live tomorrow at 4 p.m. Mountain Time with Naoto,
That's right.
our master sharpener, doing advanced sharpening. He brings like a new subject each time, but he also answers super technical sharpening questions. If you want to see those finger stones in action, just tune in and ask him to do it. I think we got some little bits and bobs of them hanging around here. The Knifewear Garage Sale runs until Sunday at midnight. This is our last live video of the week. Besides the sharpening class tomorrow, so thank
Which
you.
is
everybody.
not sharpening class.
Thank you. It's not a sharpening class. Okay, cool.
It's Nerd Out with Naoto. That's what that is.
Oh yeah, right, yeah. It's Nerd Out with Naoto, which is what
Right
we
here.
should start calling it.
Right here.
Yeah, so we got our last live video tomorrow, and then we'll be back the following week. You know, Japanese Knives 101 is on Tuesdays. We've got knife sharpening with the Vancouver crew, which is more like a class, on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Like I said, the garage sale runs till Sunday at midnight, in store and online. Obviously in store just till 6 p.m. We have free shipping over $200 in North America. If you need to get some gifts for folks for the holidays, now is the time. Shipping is probably going to start to get delayed, so order now so that you don't have to deal with shipping companies being overwhelmed. If you need help deciding before you order, check out our gift guide on our website. Check out our sister site, kentofinglewood.com, because they've got lots of great stuff for people that shave or don't shave. And beyond that, thanks everyone that tuned in today. We'd love to hear from you, what videos we should make. If you do need help choosing a gift or choosing a knife, hit us up, hello@knifewear.com, or just message us on the chat on our website. Stay tuned. Subscribe to our YouTube.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for tuning
it was
in.
a super fun time.
Yeah, that was a blast.
We had a good night. Thank
Cheers.
you.
Stay
Thanks
safe. Wash your
Thanks
hands.
for tuning in. We'll see you soon.
Peace.